tonight's episode of the Gamecasters, we talk about a lot of new games we've been playing recently. We do another board game beatdown for you, and we end the show with our top 5 games that surprised you. Stay tuned. Hello there, gamers, and welcome back for another disgusting, parasitic infestation of the Gamecasters, the podcast that attaches itself to you like a flock of tapeworms after eating undercooked meat. I'm your host, Ryan.
I'm
get it?
Natalie.
Wait, do you get it? I'm your host. It's like a parasitic infection. And I'm your host.
So we're the infection?
I don't want to be a host in that way.
I think you guys, the listeners, are infesting me.
Oh, that's worse.
No, we're infesting you. The host thing doesn't really make total sense, but I'm Ryan.
I'm Natalie.
And I'm Jeff, the Mad Board Gamer.
So I wrote this at work, and now my Google search history at work, there's things like, what is a grouping of tapeworms called?
You have like tapeworm ads on your...
It's not called a flock. Yeah, they're going to come up on my phone now.
Right.
Got a tapeworm?
Tapeworm medication.
Eat some?
What are they called? Do they have a...
No, I didn't find anything of what a... Because I don't think they typically come in groups.
They're just one giant, long,
It's just one tapeworm.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys out there know what a grouping of tapeworms is called, go ahead and send those to the Mad Board Gamer.
Yes, that'd be...
We'll detail that on next
Other
week's
than disgusting.
Instagram inbox.
Yeah, let
Maybe
us know
they're
what
called
it is.
tapeworms.
Tapeworms.
Just with an S.
Plural.
So we have a fantastic show lined up for you today, so stay out of my way or you'll pay. Listen to what I say. Well, why don't I just go eat some hay? I can make things out of clay or lay by the bay. I just may. What do you say?
I know that
What
movie.
is that from?
I was going to say, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah, do you know a movie?
It's got, all right, here, let me give you another clue. It's got one of my favorite, it's got maybe my, Jeff.
Is it Happy Gilmore?
It's Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
It's got one of my favorite lines.
I was thinking Adam Sandler. I just didn't know which one.
You're right.
The movie's Adam Sandler.
Well, I know he's...
One of my favorite lines from any movies in that movie, where he's talking to Shooter McGavin and they're kind of like going back and it's in that, it might be in that same conversation that he's having with him, and he's like, "Get out of my way! I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast."
Yeah.
And Happy was like,
Yeah. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
and he's like, "No."
When you were like saying that at first, I was like, you didn't make that up. I was like, is he trying to act like he made this up?
Listen, I give credit where credit is due, milady. Is he trying? Were you going to call me out if I didn't?
Yeah.
Hey, he didn't make
I've
that
heard
up.
that.
Kind of.
Jerk. We're not even. What are we? Not even 3 minutes in here, and you're already calling me out. I'm your fiancé.
So what's the male version of
What's going on?
fiancé?
Yeah, exactly. There's an
fiancé.
episode of The Office where Michael confuses the male and female. He's trying to learn Spanish, and he confuses the male and female of everything. Angela walks in. He's like, "Angelo." She's like, "Angela." Or one time he's talking to Oscar, and he's like, I don't know anything about Spanish. So he's like, "Como se vano?" And Oscar's like, "That's what he said?" And he's like, damn it. So you guys, what's happening? What's going on in the world of you?
What's happening? You want me to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a couple snow days this week.
You did?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's okay. That's got to be the best thing about being a teacher.
Was it Wednesday?
It's
Thursday?
the
I mean,
best.
yeah, fulfilling learning and enriching
like
kids'
helping
lives,
kids
blah, blah,
and,
blah.
yeah,
But the
Snow
summer
days.
But
vacation
snow
and the
days
break.
are great. And to think, like, teachers love snow days just as much as students.
Sure.
So there's no getting it. Don't
I saw
mix
you
that
out there
up.
on the hill.
yeah.
Whee!
Yeah, it was awesome. So we had Wednesday and Thursday. So we had back-to-back days, snow day.
Yeah.
And then I stayed home Friday with Jack because he wasn't
Holy
feeling
crap.
well.
You have
So I
worked less
like,
than you haven't.
Yes. Yep.
What? Does that say that right?
Worked less than I haven't. No, have.
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
worked
okay.
less than you have. Okay, I knew that
Yeah.
was
So I
right.
only worked 2 days last week, which is really kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your break was the week before?
And then, no, we had...
Or do you
I don't
not
remember.
have those?
Yeah, I think we
Ryan's
just
kids'
had like a
break?
They have winter
short...
break.
We just had like a 4-day weekend.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
They didn't
I
have
think
a
2
whole
weeks
week
ago.
off.
We did not have a
Gotcha.
full week off for that.
Okay.
I've been watching the show on Fox called Lego Masters.
Oh, I heard
Have you
of
watched
that.
it?
I haven't
No.
seen
Oh,
it, but
that's the one that Chris Bondi needs to be on that show.
Will Arnett,
Is he
right?
just like amazing at...
Dude, one time he made this robot out of Legos. This is no joke. From a picture. He looked at a picture. He made a robot. Dude, it transformed into a car and a plane and like...
A boat?
No, that's ridiculous. Like a sex toy? No, but seriously, he
It's
made it...
cool.
Dude, it was huge.
Yeah, they
And he
make
did it
these...
just
They make
off
these
the
massive
brain.
structures, and they get like 12 hours. It's like make this scene in 12 hours.
a long show.
Yeah, right. And they condense it all down to 1 hour. It's hosted by Will Arnett, who's one of my favorites because
Yeah.
I like Will
Come on,
Arnett.
Michael.
Come on.
Yeah.
Does he say that to the... Does he
But
just taunt them?
Speaking of plurals, I did learn something. We're talking about plurals with tapeworm and tapeworms.
Sure.
The plural of Lego is Lego.
Oh, there's no Legos.
No.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, the plural of Lego is Lego.
That's so funny. I need to tell that to Cameron because the other day I said, you guys can work on your Legos. And he goes, no, I said you can work on your Lego. And he's like, it's more than one, Natalie.
Oh, no.
Oh, boom. I have been looking to just destroy that kid's self-esteem for a while. So here we go.
It's
That's
Lego.
going to happen.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Well, he has no problem destroying mine. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
What? Oh, your
self-esteem.
Self-esteem. Yeah. So then I'll just translate. I know. I'm like, I don't destroy your Lego. I had my Legos. My Lego. Wait. So I had my Lego destroyed as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I'm gonna.
I know people don't like it, but
I'm gonna continue to pluralize it with an S. I had my Legos destroyed when I was younger by my cousin, and I have never. That traumatized me. So I would never destroy another man.
I understand that.
Lego.
My cousin one time dropped our Sega Genesis down the stairs.
Cousins are rude.
Yeah, you still haven't gotten over it? Come on.
Come on, cousins.
Lego my Sega Genesis. So you guys, I found this really funny question on Reddit. It's another Reddit. I Reddit it again. And I needed to share this because it's really funny. It said, the question was, what movie changes the plot? And maybe you've heard of this. If you add a random R somewhere in the title. Okay. So here are the funniest ones I found. All right.
Add a random R.
Yeah, you just add the letter R somewhere in the movie title. Okay, so here we go. Fantastic breasts and where to find them. Beauty and the Breast.
A lot of breast ones.
Yep.
Okay.
Tenacious Doctor. Instead of Tenacious D. Oh. And the Prick of Destiny.
Nice. Yep.
Our X-Men First Class, which is like first day of pharmacy school. A Fish Called Rwanda. And then it said, movie takes a dark turn when John Cleese has to deal with genocide. Krill Bill, a wacky animated adventure about a lovable crustacean. Scarfarce, a slapstick gangster comedy. Say hello to my little friend. And then in walks Danny DeVito. Then Danny DeVito's like, say hello to my little friend. And then walks Peter Dinklage. Slurm Dog Millionaire. Same movie, but it's just set in Futurama. I Ram Sam.
I Ram Sam. Oh my gosh.
National Treasurer.
That sounds great.
I know.
Nicolas Cage still in that one. He is the national treasurer.
He's at his desk with an adding machine the whole time. This is just not adding up. The Strep Brothers.
Strep Brothers.
Rice Age, or Ice Rage, or Ice Ager, or Icer Age. Mad Marks. Communism gone mad. Rambro. Sylvester Stallone leaves the army to go back to college. The Good, the Brad, and the Ugly. Just a movie about Brad.
Yep.
And then Forrest Grump.
Forrest Grump.
So I thought, wouldn't it be funny? And I want you guys out there, if you have any of these, to name some board game names, but add the letter R in them, and how does it change them? So if we go back to Fantastic Breasts and how to find them, what about Breasts of Balance?
Ooh. Yeah. You have to balance it on the breast.
Yeah, on the breast.
Yeah, so you have
have a breast, and you're balancing the breast on its nipple.
Is the breast.
No, the base is still there, and you're balancing the breast.
Oh.
Yeah, who knows? Or Natalie thought of one that I thought was really funny.
Oh, yeah, I thought of Rice Cool.
Rice Cool. Yeah. And then how about Too Many Boners?
That's so funny because I said that yesterday. I said, I made a comment, and I said, too many boners, and he's like, did you read my script? And I was like, no. And
he's like,
that's in my script.
That's funny.
I know.
I don't have any. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Oh, I thought you didn't have any boners. I'm like, no. There's medication you can take, my friend.
Yeah, Rice Schools. I try to think of more, but that's the only one I came up with.
So if you guys think of any, email the Gamecasters at the Gamecasters podcast at gmail.com. Is that right? The Gamecasters podcast at gmail.com. That's our email that no one's ever used.
Just email me. I'm Madigan Jeff at Gmail.
Right.
Just message you on Instagram
my
or
personal
Facebook.
email.
It's easier. Who uses email these days?
Apparently nobody. Maybe other people's
Nobody
podcasts.
listens to us.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So we have been playing some games, haven't we, guys?
Yep.
We actually got to hang out with the Mad Board Gamer last weekend
together.
and play some games together.
It was awesome.
That doesn't happen very often. I mean, we're like, Jeff and I are like best friends, but we, our lives are, very segregated at the moment because, Jeff's got a new baby. We live kind of a little bit far away from each other. It's not that far, but it's, it's far enough that it's not just a quick come over whenever you want to. So Jeff still hangs out with the old game group that I used to hang out with, which is just our friends and Jeff's brothers and Bill. And Christy and does Jen play too?
Sometimes it depends on her schedule.
So that's that same group that Jeff goes and plays games with, and he's not going to play games 6 times a week because he's got that new baby we were just talking about. So it's always awesome when we actually get to play games with him. And Jeff himself has gotten to be
this is getting good.
Into the reviewing arena. Ooh. And Jeff, I want you to talk a little more about that and maybe one of the new games we played.
Ooh. I'm slightly distracted staring at games trying to add R's to them to get them to like...
I was like, I'm not listening. I'm just trying to figure out
what is Ryan talking about? And then I'm thinking of like the worst ones, like, Ron Mars. Like,
Ron Mars.
That's great.
So just thinking, a guy named Ron Mars. It's just like Ron anyway.
You just learn about him the whole time for 3.5 hours?
I've recently tried to convince, I guess convince might be the right word.
Wait, how about Through the Rages?
Yeah,
like it's just the different stages of anger.
Yeah, just
Through the Rages. I like that.
All right, I'm sorry. Guys.
I think it'll just pop up randomly in the episode.
Dry mocker.
Dry.
So I've tried to convince some game companies, and I think convince might be the right word, to send me some review copies of games, and so I could play it with my students or you guys or our game group.
He sends pictures of himself with a gun that says games or else.
I need games now. Yeah. And some pretty awesome companies have sent me some great games that I've been able to play with you guys and with the normal game group that I play with on Mondays, and my students have loved a lot of them. So I've been really appreciative of getting those things and being able to play them and post about it on Instagram and talk about it here. And one awesome company that we need to talk about, TMG.
TMG, Tasty Minstrel Games. Did you know that, Natalie?
I didn't know it was tasty.
Yep, tasty. Those minstrels are delicious.
And TMG is coming out with a game this week. So this is like, it's not even out yet. So it's coming out this week. It's called Chrono Corsairs.
Chrono Corsairs.
Which is essentially Time Pirates.
Yeah.
Time Pirates.
Yeah, if we're doing an association station.
Yes, that would be Time Pirates would be the clue for Chrono Corsairs. So Chrono Corsairs.
Damn, you just ruined number 7.
Oh, man. Is it Chrono Corsairs? Yeah. So I do need to thank TMG for gifting me the game to review. Check it out this week. And in Chrono Corsairs, players are shipwrecked on a cursed shores of the, I wrote it down, I can't pronounce it. It's the Ouroboros Islands.
The Ouroboros. Yeah,
and it's this cursed island where players are living the same day over and over and over and over again. So it's like Time Pirates meets
Punxsutawney Phil.
I was going to say Groundhog Day.
Yeah, that's Groundhog Day. Yeah.
And so I want you to imagine the map. The board is a map, and the board is broken up into different sections, and they're tiles, and you lay them out. So every game's kind of different. And you, at the beginning of each turn, you're playing one of your cards into a timeline, and the card changes your action. So it might say, move your group of pirates onto a beach, and then you move your pirates onto the beach. And then each player has 4 different stages that they're going to go through, 4 different actions that they're going to take on their turn, and they're going to move their pirates around this island. And every turn you reset, so you start back on the beach and you add a new card. So your plans change every single round based on the card, right? That seems about right.
You got it.
And at the end of each round, you look at each area of the board. There's maybe 12 areas or so.
I think so.
And you look for majority in that area. So if I have the most majority in this area, I get a reward. And that reward might be doubloons, which is a cool fancy pirate word for money. And it's just called booty.
Yeah, booty. Booty.
So you get doubloons or you get gems, which is your points or treasure, or you could get these cool special cards that will help you in the game or give you points at the end. And you go through and you determine majority for each one of those, give everybody their rewards, and then the loop resets every time. And you can spend your doubloons to upgrade your ship to get more people on your island. But you're living the same day over and over and over again, but you're adding a different card to your timeline to play that round differently.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like programming.
Yeah, it's a area control and program.
Those are the 2 main mechanisms in the game. I gotta say off the bat, the production values are off the charts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I wrote down.
It's TMG, and if you know TMG typically has amazing components. This game is beautiful on the table. When you set it up, I was excited. It gave me a visceral, emotional response seeing it. It made me want to play it. So, a lot of people talk about how, they don't care. It's all chrome, what the game looks like or, what the components are like. But to me personally, that made me interested in playing the game. It's got this really cool variability setup where you got these tiles and you can place them all differently every time. Just those tiles on the board in that circular pattern looked cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. The artwork on the tiles were awesome. They were lush. They were beautiful. Beautiful. The beach looked like a beach.
Yeah.
And the variability was cool because the island is a circle, but you're mixing up these arc-shaped tiles to make up the island. And the production quality is great. You have little pirate meeples. The pirate meeples are super cool.
The peoples.
Yeah.
Because you had like a leader. What was the leader? You had like your crew pirates.
Captain, maybe?
Captain, and you had
captain and your
pirates.
crew, and they were all pirates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So what'd you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Stuff like that.
So I really think it's a really unique game. I really don't know if I've played a game like this, where I've played lots of programming games, and I never played one that resets every single time. So I think that's really, really unique in how the game's played. I would say that I should have spent more time thinking about what I was doing in the programming. I just kind of like picked and put a card down to kind of just get how the game was going, but I definitely need to think about it a lot more. Area control, I don't tend to like as much because it usually leads to like conflict and you have to screw someone over or play that, take that sort of game. Right. So it's like two mechanics that I don't necessarily love in a game, but I thought the game kind of worked. It was people listening to this game who listen to this who like area control, who like trying to figure out the puzzle of programming. I think they're going to really like this game. I think people out here are going to really like Chrono Corsairs.
It's light as well, which is kind of what it's got going for it. Because I'm with you. To take that part of it was soured me a little bit. Also, if I can talk just for a quick sec about the time travel or the resetting thing, the one thing I will say about that, it was definitely interesting and unique. Mm-hmm. What I found, maybe, I don't know if it was frustrating or what I kind of missed building something. So in a lot of like if you think of a game like Ethnos or a game that has, you're putting things onto the board for an area majority thing, you're putting these out from the beginning and then all through the game, you're kind of growing these things, and it makes these interesting, interactions with the other players and how to, get control. In this game, it resets every round. There are certain things where you can leave guys out, but mostly you play it, you get control, then everybody comes back and you do it again. And so I found that I was missing a little, maybe like a crescendo, because every round you just start back at zero.
Well, I feel like the crescendo was at the beginning, you only had the base moves.
Yeah, the cards.
So you couldn't get very far in the island. And then towards the end, you can kind of like go wherever you want because you have better cards.
And more people.
So I guess if there
you can
was
buy more pirates.
Right. So if there was a crescendo, it would be that.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
There's also the opposite of that where sometimes I play a game like Robo Rally and I'm in the corner just on a conveyor belt, just going over and over and over again. And I'm like completely screwed. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
At least at this point, if I mess up, it's one round. I can pay to switch my cards around. I can add a new card to hopefully make this next round better.
And can't you even not do it? If it's going to screw you over, you can take money.
Just take money instead. So there's a little bit of that helps, which might make it a little more lighter and less punishing.
Also, it's quicker. In a game like Robo Rally, that can take hours.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're screwed, you're just going to have a terrible time. In this game, you can get screwed. And I got screwed a time or two, and it sucked in that moment. And then right when that moment was over, it was done.
Yeah.
The game was over. You're not screwed forever.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the game, how long did it take? It took an hour?
Yeah.
It's
about an hour. It was about an hour. There was 3 of us. It plays up to 5. I do think it would probably... If you play with a full 5, it's gonna go longer.
Yeah, and if you played it with a full 5, you're gonna get in each other's way more. Like there were times where maybe there would be 2 of us on the same tile, and so like something would get stolen from me, so I wouldn't be first place in that tile. But maybe other tiles, I was alone, getting the best prize, I guess.
Yeah, if you see me and Jeff fighting over something, you're just like, I'm gonna go over here.
Right, so it ended up like being, that kind of made it a little more even across the board for us. But if there was 5 players, then there probably would be more people getting butthurt.
And more contested areas for sure.
And on top of that, my biggest concern with the game, I mean, I thought it was pretty good, but...
I'm going to agree with what you're going to say, and I already know what you're going to say. I have a feeling. I'm going to write down what I think you're going to say.
Players, we could barely fit all of our wooden our wooden guys on the tiles. And so if there was 2 more players and people were competing on the same tiles, how can they fit?
That's a problem.
Yeah.
You start with a few guys throughout the game. There's a phase of the game. It's the last phase, basically, of every round. You all the money you took, you can buy other things. One of the things you can buy, and to me, the most obvious thing for you to buy is more crew members,
right?
Because the more people you have, the more areas you can control, which is how you win the game.
So you can have up to 12 meeples.
So that's 60.
Controlled.
That's 60
Right.
meeples.
Yeah.
Like,
on
I
the
think at
board.
one point, like, at the end, you put, like, I don't know, 6 to 8 meeples
In the middle.
on one tile,
Yeah.
and then I had 2, and that could barely fit. What if there was 2 more players in the game?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that
it
is
could be-
that is
So I'd
definitely
say,
a
like,
problem.
I mean, overall, the game works. I mean, there's nothing broken or wrong with it, I think, but except that part.
So I do wonder if you have a complement of 5, are things spread out more?
Yeah, are you trying
You know
to
what I
take
mean?
over more
Do you have
areas?
do you have
Yeah,
as
you're
many
right.
things
You
where
can't
one person's taking
concentrate as
one
many meeples in
giant
one
thing?
spot.
Yeah, because then that's all you'll get, and
Yeah,
you got
'cause
if
then
there's
you're
5
giving
of
away
you, you
stuff
got to
to
like get
other
a bunch of
people.
other things.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
yeah, I think that is a problem.
Maybe Jeff will find out.
Yeah, it'd be
playing 5
interesting to
players.
see if
Yeah.
you play with the 5-player game how it works. Because there was some times where we were like, well, I guess I'll just put my guys off the board. We'll just
Yeah,
know
this is
these
a
guys
lot.
are for this tile.
Yeah. Oh, right,
So,
right.
yeah,
And we did get our butts kicked by Natalie, if you remember.
yeah, she crushed our faces.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Oh my
I won.
gosh.
Doesn't that make it worse?
Never mind.
Doesn't
Ryan,
that
you
make
won.
it worse? I won.
Ryan,
and it
you
was
remember winning
boring.
Chrono Corsairs. You won.
I was
that
just
make it
saying,
worse?
like, I've never win any game.
Yeah, you won by like 10 points.
Yeah, you destroyed us.
Me and Jeff were
Awesome.
within 1 or 2 of each other, and you had like
Yeah.
10 or 12 more than the both of us.
I have memory problems.
Yeah. So it's coming out this week. If that sounds like it's your game, up your alley, check it out. Chrono
Yeah.
Corsairs.
Yeah,
by
I'll say if
TMG.
you're into if you're into programming, you're gonna like this one.
Yeah.
It's quick enough. You can play this 2 or 3 times. If you have a group of 3 or 4, even I think you can play this a couple times in a game night, and it'll only take a couple hours. And there's definitely intricacies and strategies to explore.
Yeah.
Because the cards, there's all different stuff. So look, awesome. That is super cool that TMG sent Jeff that game.
Yeah, thanks.
So Natalie and I put a question onto Instagram yesterday, and the question was, "Hey, what would you guys like to hear us talk about?" We wanted to get a more thematic kind of game played. We talk a ton about we all love Euros on this podcast.
Yeah.
The 3 of us, that's probably our. If we all had a gun against our head, we'd probably say Euros are our favorite style of game.
Agreed.
But I also really love, maybe more than the other guys, I'm not sure. I love the thematic games almost as much. So I really wanted to get some thematic games played. So I put a poll on Instagram that said, hey, what do you guys want to see? Too Many Bones, Claustrophobia, or Clank Legacy. And within the first 5 minutes, I had 6 responses that were all of them Too Many Bones. And so I was like, all right, doing it. Bam. So I
many
set up
boners.
Too Many Boners.
Too many boners.
I set up Too Many Boners.
Way too many.
Is there such thing, Natalie, as Too Many Boners? You tell me.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends on the situation.
Okay.
Oh, my-
All right.
We are learning some things
We
about
will
your
talk
fiance.
about this situation later.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about this
I
after the
probably
show.
shouldn't get into these.
You want to get into details?
Like, are you talking about like too many boners on one person or too many boners in the room?
What?
No.
I got like 6 boners going on right
I
now.
mean, like too many boners throughout the day, or too many boners in the room.
Why don't you tell us what you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. What were you thinking? Because this is. You can't see, but Natalie is 3 feet down digging herself a hole.
Ew.
With a sho-
Yeah. That was just like a saying.
What is gross?
Moving on.
God.
Too many
Okay,
bones.
so Too Many Bones was the overwhelming favorite at the outset. So I started setting that game up. It takes a while to set up and play, which I'll explain in a minute. But after I set up Too Many Boners, there was a bunch, like Clank Legacy caught up and even surpassed
At
Too
the
Many
end
Boners.
of the day.
Yeah, so what
After
I wanted
too many bones was already set up.
Yeah. Well, but it's okay. So I was like, oh my gosh, let's play both of these games. We'll play both of them. We'll talk about them on the show. So we started Too Many Boners at about 6 p.m. And it was such a great time, but it took too long. We didn't get to play Clank. We just didn't get to
We
play.
didn't finish till like 11:15
Right.
or something.
Yeah, so the whole time, Jeff was looking around at the games, trying to put an R into the
am.
boxes. I can see him doing
I
it.
really am.
I can see
Like,
him
I
doing
played
it.
Too Many Bones. I know. So I may as well use my time
no, for
wisely.
sure. Use it good. All right, so take your time, Jeff, because I got some stuff here. So,
Yep.
Too Many Bones. One of the most thematic and boutique board games there are. You can only buy this game direct from the publisher, which is Chip Theory Games. They don't release their games in retail, so you'll never see this in your friendly local game store unless I guess that store buys
I didn't know
it
that.
from them and sells. Yeah,
like a resale thing.
And that's all Chip Theory.
All Chip Theory. Yeah, you can't
They're a
just
cool
go to
company.
Amazon and buy them. Yeah, it's very
They're a
boutique.
cool company.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The production values
Ugh.
in their games are
Yes, all the
Like
stuff
nothing
in it
else.
is
Yeah.
like phenomenal.
Awesome pins at Gen Con.
the pins. Those
was
things
their
are
pin?
sweet. They're huge.
Remember we took the chip and we got the chip at the one part as we walked to the football field.
taking pictures with the gear
And then
locks.
you took the picture and you went and showed it and then you got the pin.
She remembers
That's
nothing.
right.
Nothing.
No, I remember.
She
It's
remember
like a-
winning 1 week
I
ago.
do. They were
Gen
like
Con is
metal,
this
and it was like a
convention we go to.
character.
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
character,
Yeah.
like an archer.
Do you remember Gen Con, Natalie?
Shut up, Ryan.
Anyway, awesome company.
So great company. They have insane components in their games.
especially in this one.
And this one is okay. So you have your own individual player board. The player board, if you think of one, by the way, just shout it out.
yeah, I
the
am. I'm
player
sorry.
board is just a neoprene mouse pad thing. It's got all these little holes in them that you can put dice into, and these dice are heat transfer dice. If anyone's played Star Wars Destiny, they have
Oh, I wonder who played that.
the pattern is like heat transferred onto the die, so it's not a sticker. It's just beautiful. So in this game, Chip Theory is all about poker chips. So all of their games that they have, Hoplomachus, Too Many Bones, Cloudspire, and Trip Lock, those games all use poker chips as like the main mechanism of their game. So Too Many Bones is no different. It doesn't have miniatures. It's like a thematic, kind of like a skirmish warfare type of game. Like they call it a dice building RPG. But instead of
boobs.
miniatures, skirmish boobs. Instead of miniatures, you use stacks of poker chips. So my character has a poker chip that is the character, and then the health of him, you just put in red poker chips underneath him, and then you move that stack around the mat to fight stuff. And it's just really cool. It gives you a good tactile feel, especially for someone like me who loves to shuffle poker chips.
Yep, he sure does.
Yeah, I shuffled them a lot.
He
Crazy.
shuffles them all day, every day.
Yeah,
That's,
seriously.
at
work.
I have 9 of them at work, and I just like
Donkey
shuffle
Kong.
them all the time. Yeah, Donkey
Dave,
Kong does
Dave
it too.
is I think he used to carry around 3 like poker chips in his
Really?
In his
pocket
pocket.
to like do this little
It's
trick
like
on
a
his hand all the time. Yep.
Fidget.
Yeah, it's like a fidget.
cube.
It's like a fidget cube, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I do the same thing with
Yeah.
poker. Anyway, so what this game is, this is like I said, a dice building RPG. It is the most asymmetric game that I've played. It's probably on par with like Root or Vast Crystal Caverns or Chaos in the Old World or stuff like that, where basically we're on a team, so you're working cooperatively, and the whole point of the game is you're just trying to get through a bunch of encounters to kill the tyrant. And you pick a tyrant beforehand. So we picked the Goblin Queen in this play. And you have to get through a certain amount of encounters.
She was a
And an
bee.
encounter is just a fight. Or you basically read a card. So there's an encounter deck. I read a card, and it has a little flavor text story. And then I turn it over, and then Natalie and I, or whoever's playing, because it's cooperative, has to pick one of the choices on the card. And the choices have different consequences. Some choices might just be, you avoid this battle, and you just lay by the campfire, but you don't get as many rewards for that. But the converse is you don't have to go and risk getting killed. The other option is you go to battle, you fight these incoming wolves that are coming through, and then if you win, you get a ton of loot. So you make decisions constantly. And once you go through a certain amount of encounters, you can basically unlock and fight the tyrant. Now, that's all pretty ho-hum, normal, regular old kind of dungeon crawly stuff. What makes this game different is kind of like Jeff talked about before, the component quality is amazing. But what sets it apart is this asymmetric play. So I play a character, Natalie plays a character. They are so incredibly different, it's almost like you're playing 2 different games.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So, for instance, every character has a skill tree that you build out. So, whenever you complete an encounter, and by killing monsters and stuff, you get these skill points to use, and you can use them on this skill tree. Every character has 16 completely different dice that only you build out their skill tree for. And think of like an RPG. Like you are, a ranger, and so you're going to be taking, a skill tree that's different from a wizard character. Or my character, in fact, was a robot. And so he's got stuff that he has to use his hydro can anytime he wants to, use an ability. And so you unlock dice to get more hydro to fill into that water thing. He's immune to poison and bleed and all these different effects that, the other gear locks, who are the characters, don't have to deal with. And so the whole game is you figuring out how you want to build out your mouse pad player mat to then use it on the board to kill the monsters in a cool way. And the game is so much fun. It is so much fun. So many times throughout the play yesterday, I was just like, I love this game. I freaking love this game. It's so awesome.
Yes,
And it took a
is.
while because we died horribly.
Oh yeah,
It's really hard. It is really hard, which is what you want. Yeah, we died. And
Yeah, you don't
died
just
and
want to
died.
win.
And
You don't
then
just wanna
at
win
the
every
end,
time.
we just died.
It was crushingly brutal.
Yeah,
we got all the way to the tyrant with no problem. We were killing it. We're getting all these skills. You know, we're like leveling
It was
up like crazy.
I was almost like, this is easy.
Yeah.
And then we got to the end, and I was like, "Oh, we got this." And you're like, "No, we don't." And I was like, "Yeah, it's been so easy." And then we just kept dying over and over,
and over again. So I love this game. Everybody who's listened to the show, I put it on almost every list I can think of. So you guys know I love it. Natalie, what do you think about Too Many Bones?
I really like this game too. You know, I'm not like the biggest fan of like dungeon crawly games where you're just kind of fighting and that's like it. And then I don't know. Those aren't my favorite games, but this one I think is like so different because of the unique characters, and then you get to choose what skills that you build, and it's kind of fun because, you know, it's fun making the decision of what skills you want to, I don't know, you don't like
level
purchase
up.
them. Level
Yeah.
up. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. What skills you choose, you know, for that game, and then it's like you said, it's unique to you. So like that makes it even more fun in the battles because then it's more interaction with the other player. Like I'll start here because I can do this with my skills, and you can do this with your skills, and
That's the
it's
best
fun
part.
playing them out and planning. You know, you can only use each skill like once per battle. So like planning, like, do I use this now? Do I save it for later? And I find that just putting in the strategy like that in a game like this makes it a lot more fun for me than the just, you know, move and kill type
And it's cool
games.
because you can play one character multiple times and you'll play them vastly different because you have 16 dice. You're never going to get all 16 dice in your
Right,
player mat in one
yeah.
play. So you have to kind of, there's like, every character has about 4 different, you know, there's like 4 dice per like section of their mat, you know, like, so you can go hard one way, put like 8 dice in these 2 skill
Right.
trees. But that's about all you have to do that play. So the next play, you can try the other 2, and then you can, you know, kind of mix and match and just build out dice and just figure out what is fun for you.
Yeah.
And that's what's really cool about it. Like Natalie said, is picking your dice and building your character out is and then watching what you've just built on the player mat as you're manipulating them.
Right.
Is
And you're
super
right. I
cool.
agree that the poker chips as like the health and stuff is really fun.
Isn't it cool to
Yeah.
just manipulate those? Like, it's really tactile. You know, the whole game is so tactile. Every component in this game, by the way, is waterproof. There's a video
Yeah, it's crazy.
of them
Even the maps.
playing the game underwater. They played the game underwater.
How random,
It's
but cool.
weird. It's weird. It's
Like
awesome.
the paper. It's not really paper, but the paper things
No,
that like
they're plastic. They're
that like
but
list
it's-
your characters like abilities and like all
they're
the stuff.
indestructible.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So the trade-off here is price, okay?
Yeah.
So you are paying a ton if you want this game. If you want any game by Chip Theory outside of Trip Lock, which is their little game, or Game to Pick a Game, which is also just a tiny thing. Everything else, Too Many Bones, Cloudspire, Hoplomachus, they are expensive. I mean, you're going to pay over $100.
Yeah, it's over $100.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
If you want Too Many Bones, I mean, the base game I think is probably $100 to $110, maybe a little more than that even. But there's a bunch of extra characters you can get. I have everything for Too Many Bones. Natalie and I played the Undertow version of Too Many Bones, which is a 2-player version of it. It's a standalone.
Oh, it's 2-player only.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically an expansion, so you can play more, but it was intended to be a 2-player version of Too Many Bones, or solo, because these games play amazing.
Is that the only difference between
solo.
that and the?
No, there's a couple different mechanisms, but it's basically an expansion you can add into your Too Many Bones content. But I do think the Undertow version, if you only have 2, it is a little less expensive. It gives you the exact same feel of Too Many Bones. All the rules are there. It even has a couple additional rules. And like I said, what else is really cool about this game is I don't typically play games solo. If I'm going to play a game solo, I'll play a video game just because I don't have to set it up and think about it.
Yeah.
But Too Many Bones is one that I've played solo many times, and it is so much fun because you still get that awesome feeling of building out your character, which is the best part of the game, in my opinion. So that's Too Many Bones. Again, Chip Theory Games, fantastic publisher. Go check them out. If you are interested in a game like this, that's kind of hybrid of RPG and board game stuff with amazing components. So, Jeff, what else you got, man?
I got something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, so we played Too Many Bones. How was it? It had to be 4
It
years
was
ago.
a few years ago.
Because didn't you kickstart that like
Yep.
kind of on a like you were just like, let me just check out.
I don't know. I was just like,
it was just
I
kind of
saw
on a
it. I
whim,
was just
right?
kind of like, oh, okay. I didn't know anything about it when I
Yeah,
kickstarted.
I remember enjoying it because we were playing with like the group that always has fun playing everything. But the one thing that sticks in my brain is how cool all the components were. And like
Yeah.
the mouse pad and moving the dice, and that was really great.
Absolutely.
And to say like Natalie liking it, I know she didn't love Defenders of the Realm, and I know we like love
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
But to think about this is like Defenders of the Realm like on steroids.
Yeah.
'Cause you get to-
Yeah.
yeah, you get a cool power in Defenders of the Realm, but this is like cool. You like upgrade and up because that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
But anyway, different game. I'm gonna shout out to some teachers a little bit if they're looking to
Boo boo.
add some games into their classroom.
Okay.
Because I am also a teacher. I played this game. It was also gifted to me by Genius Games. Genius Games makes the game Periodic. Do you remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
Periodic
I don't
table.
think so.
on
Oh, yeah,
the
right.
front of
Right.
it.
Periodic
Yeah.
table. Sure. Of course.
I think it's called Periodic. I'm almost
Okay.
positive.
Yeah.
They just had a new Kickstarter out called Genotype, which
Okay.
got a little bit of buzz and funded very quickly. So that's kind of cool. But
Cool.
they sent me a game called Subatomic,
Okay.
which is exactly what it sounds like.
So they're
Science.
Are they geared towards science stuff?
Yeah, they're geared
periodic
toward
is also
science, educational sort of. But every game they've come out with has been science based.
Okay. And
Oh, that's
Genius
cool.
Games
So
also
it's like a
kinda
game.
lends to that.
It's a game, but you're
You're supposed to be learning. Also,
supposed to be learning.
Yeah, and
perfect for teachers.
it's perfect. And so it's a deck builder. Very again simple deck builder. You're buying cards, adding it to your deck, but the cards you're buying are protons and neutrons and electrons.
Cool.
So as you play them in front of you, you have your own little player board that you are changing the dynamic of your atom. So when you play a proton, you add a proton to your atom. When you play a neutron, you add a neutron. When you play an electron, you add an electron. And what you're doing on your player board is you're trying to create an element. And the elements are basically the main scoring cards. So you create barium, and when you create barium, you get that card and you get points.
Oh, that's cool.
But it kind of it makes sense. Like all the science in the game is right. It comes with like a little book that says the science behind the game, and you could like read it if you want to.
yeah.
I like when games do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I like that.
other cards that you can add. So you can add, so you're adding like protons and neutrons to your deck so they come up quicker. But you can also add like scientists, and the scientists say like who the scientist was, what he or she did, and then has like kind of a superpower. So they can draw an extra card or just kind of normal deck building sort of systems or
Right.
mechanisms. But they do it in like a science-y kind of way. And my kids, it was funny because they were playing and I played with them and they were like, I don't remember anything from chemistry or whatever. They were kind of joking about that. But at the end, they had fun. Like they enjoyed seeing the science behind it and kind of moving these electrons around. Even if some of them mentioned like, oh, that's the actual... I don't know,
that's
I don't
what
know
it is.
anything about
Whatever it is.
science.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
like
what
the
it is.
elemental whatever of
Science
it.
class.
And so that was kind of a cool... it's a cool take, and this company's doing some cool stuff to try to make games a little more thematic, but also educational. Because we all play games, and it's like I love Coimbra, but am I feeling like I'm working in
Right.
Spain and
Or
doing
if-
that kind of stuff? No,
No.
but
Yeah. If
So-
they're reading about that scientist during a game
Yeah.
where they're having fun, it might stick in their brain more than like, a
yeah,
classroom.
it's like, oh yeah, that was in the game I played. Or,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's
Oh yeah, I
sweet.
remember making this in a game, or now I know what makes up a proton or a
Right.
neutron. Or
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. So
That is cool.
If you can get that stuff ancillarily while you're playing a game, that's got to be the best way to teach somebody something,
Seriously.
right?
Yeah.
Like teach them without them knowing they're learning, you
Yeah.
know, and then
Yeah,
they play
right.
and they're like, oh,
Tricking
wow.
them.
Yeah.
Feels fun. Yeah.
yeah, so that's Subatomic.
Like
They have a whole bunch of other
tricking them.
science games, and it's a pretty cool thing that they're doing or trying to do.
So did they
awesome.
like the game?
Yeah, they did. Because they've played a couple deck builders before.
Mm-hmm.
They've all played Dominion, but this one being very similar to Dominion. There's not a whole lot of you're not attacking anyone, or you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So instead of attacking, you're making an element.
Yeah.
And yeah, they liked it. I asked if they would play it again. They said yes, and so I brought it. I was going to bring it on Friday, but I didn't go to school. So yeah, I'll keep bringing it as long as they keep playing it. So they really enjoyed it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's Subatomic.
Subatomic, pretty
Nice.
simple educational deck builder.
And
So
that is out yet?
it's out. Yep.
It's out.
It is out
okay.
yet.
Yeah, the Genotype, their new one, Genotype, just finished kickstarting this past week.
Okay, Genotype
Oh,
was
yeah,
the Kickstarter.
Genotype's
Yeah.
the new
Okay,
one,
I knew
yeah.
there was one that wasn't maybe not out yet.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Natalie and I played another game by, I believe it's Mayfair game, maybe Mayday Games, and this one is called the Grand Austria Hotel. This is a fantastic game about running an Austrian hotel. right?
The theme is right there.
Yeah, you serve guests food and drinks and give them a place to bang for the night if they so choose. You have to prepare rooms for them to score points, and each guest has a little power they grant you and points to give when they're full. The game has a lot of tension, which I think is awesome. And it's kind of like, it's got a real Castles of Burgundy feel in that you're rolling dice. You're taking dice to do an action, and then you are manipulating when you put these guests into their rooms. It's basically like putting the tiles onto the board in Castles of Burgundy. They have like groupings, and so you'll score points when you finish a grouping, and they each they give you a little benefit. It's really, I love this game. This game is so good. The way the dice work is really interesting. So at the beginning of the turn, you roll a fistful of dice, and it's they're 1 through 6.
However many you can grab.
Yeah, the game comes with about 800 dice. You just grab one.
Grab a fistful.
If you play with like Andre the Giant, you can roll
Right.
like
Depends how big your
dice.
hand is.
The ghost of Andre the Giant. Oh. That's our second Princess Bride thing. Oh no, we didn't do it on the show last time though.
Anybody want a peanut?
No more rhyming, I mean. Yeah. So you grab all the dice and you roll them, and you put them in order from 1 to 6. And so there's always going to be more. So there's not just 6 dice. You're rolling like 10 dice, I think, in like a 2-player game. And so you might have like 3 1s, 2 2s, a 3, no 4s, because you never roll 4s for some reason. 4 5s, you're right. So when you take an action in this game, you pick a die. And the number of times you get to do that action depends on how many dice are in that row. So if there's 3 1s, and the action for number 1 is basically get a resource, you can either get like a coffee or a wine. Actually, I think that's number 2. If there's 3 dice there, you get to take 3 of those resources and you put them in your kitchen. Or if you have guest cards in front of you, if you think it's a wonderful world, as soon as you take the resources, you get to put them on your card. So each guest card that you put in your what's it, like your restaurant before it goes into the hotel for the night, has a certain requirement that they want. So they want a certain amount of food and drink. Once you fulfill those by putting those cubes on them that you get from the other thing that I was talking about, they immediately get to, like, they're full and they're happy. They give you a benefit, and they give you some points, and then you put them to bed in their hotel where they can call any number of ladies of the night to come in and service them. And that's the expansion, actually. The ladies of the night expansion.
The service expansion.
Yeah.
The escort.
The fellatio sweeper expansion.
Fellatio sweeper expansion, yep. Just sweeps right through the hallway. Just going right at it.
Right. Oh, sorry. Dang it. I can't help that. I know. The line's here. I cry. So anyway, it's got...
Looking at the audio thing, you can tell right where that happened.
Spiked.
It spikes.
Too many boners. So there's a lot of tension in this game because there's this track called the Emperor track, and if you think of, I'm trying to think of
Emperor's New Groove.
If you think of the movie Emperor's New Groove. No. If you think Kingsburg, in Kingsburg, when you're fighting the guys at the end of the round, and if you don't win, if they beat you, you lose a bunch of stuff from your player board. Like if you build a building, you can lose a building, and it's really devastating. So you need to make sure you can beat those guys. This game has a similar it's just a track. It's called the Emperor track, and if you're not far enough up the Emperor track at the end of the scoring round, you will lose terrible things like guests that were in your hotel. You'll remove them from your board, and then that's massive amounts of points you're going to be losing, or you'll lose tons of money, and money is so tight in this game. So what I love about this game is it only takes 7 rounds. It's one of those, you can never do everything you want to do in a games. I think Jeff just thought of a game with an R. He's laughing.
I just texted Devin about medicine, and then I thought a frog of love. Anyway,
I'll be your croque monsieur. There's an Office episode with a song called Bullfrog in Love.
Really?
Croak, 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 bullfrog in love. Croak, 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 bullfrog in love. All right, so this game has so much tension, and it's really juicy and amazing, and I love the game. The theme is actually pretty cool. There's a couple things I don't like. Oh,
really?
Can you believe it? Oh my gosh.
No, I cannot.
Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. This game plays amazing with 2 players. With more than 2 players, it takes as long as Too Many Bones did last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the length of play increases exponentially with even just adding 1 more player for some reason.
Is it up to 4?
It's up to 4. So you really only want to play this with 2. Luckily for me and Natalie, there's only 2 of us. We only usually play it with 2. Jeff, I think this would be a great game for you and Devin. Fits very
yeah.
perfectly in that Castles of Burgundy kind of weight,
Feel.
which you both love. And the only other thing I don't really like about it is there's these cards, these special cards that give you really cool powers. Oh, do you want to say this?
No, I'm
you're
just
looking at me
shocked
like,
that you
man.
don't like things about it because all you do is talk it up.
Well, you know this, though. When I say this is not going to come as a surprise to you. So there's these cards, and they give you powers. You hold them in your hand, and you can just kind of play them on your turn, and they give you awesome powers. And they're awesome. They're great cards. They're like servant cards that you're playing. And the problem with them is the name of the card. So there's a lot of iconography in this game, for one. The iconography is not immediately obvious.
Sure.
When you look at it, you need to sometimes consult the player A, the rule book.
Yeah.
Now, there's a ton of these servant cards. And so to look them up, you have to look them up by the card name. And it has the name of the card. The problem is the name of the card is A, in another language. B, it's in this tiny little cursive writing. So you can you have no
Barely
idea what
read
the hell
it.
it says.
Yeah.
So you're looking
Usually
in the
you're
rule
like,
book
yeah.
and you're like, what card is
I'm like, this is the
What
only one that
this
starts with a
do?
W, so it must be this one.
And then the rule book doesn't just list out what this icon does. You have to go
Find
to
the card.
find the actual card. And so once you play it enough times, it becomes
figure it out.
second hand, second language or whatever the heck I'm trying to say. It's second nature. Thank you.
Yes,
It becomes
yes.
second nature. But we play this infrequently enough that it's just
You have to
Yeah.
look it up.
annoying.
I wonder if
Yeah.
someone on BGG put
I'm
maybe
sure
a player
they
aid
did. In the
because
file section, I'm sure they did.
You're probably not the only one to be
Yeah.
annoyed
I'm
with
sure-
it.
I'm
I'm
sure.
excited to hear what Natalie
Yeah, me
thinks
too.
about this game because I know Burgundy is her
Yeah,
game.
it's like her game.
So
So, Natalie, what are your thoughts about the Grand Austria Hotel?
I agree with you. I really like this game a lot. I had a really fun time playing it the whole time until the very end of the game.
Oh, because it was over?
I mean, this is the second time I've played this. The first time was a couple years ago. I don't really remember it.
oh, you did play
that
it. I don't know if I
much.
knew you played it a couple
Yeah.
years ago. Okay.
I did play it once a couple years ago, and I really liked it then too. But the one thing that I do remember before we started playing this game was that I felt like Ryan was really getting high up on the Emperor track, and I was struggling. In this play, it seemed like it was no big deal. Except for the last round, we both just easily got to where we needed to be to not get a negative effect.
We happened to get the right cards.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, those guest cards you
Guess it
get,
just
they have a
worked
power
out.
on them when you fulfill
Yeah.
their requirements. And a lot of the powers I feel like we kept getting was go up 3 on the Emperor track.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
if those cards don't come out, you have to then spend
Right.
dice actions to go up. And so if you're spending a dice action to go up on the Emperor track, it's good because you won't lose all these points, but then you're not doing other
Losing
things
an
you need to
action.
do.
Yeah.
So
right.
there's really cool different ways to get done what you need to get done without just using the dice.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I love Castle of Burgundy, so it has that kind of feel where you're taking a card in and then you have to fulfill it to be able to put it on your board, and then similar to Castle of Burgundy 2, if you
Castle of Burgundy 2? Oh man, I can't wait till that comes out.
you get more points when you fill in regions of colors of
Yep.
hotel room doors.
Yep.
It gives you more points. And so
Wow.
but I just want to mention the last round was very frustrating because in a 2-player game, I was first, so it goes me first, then Ryan plays his 2 turns.
snake.
And then I
yeah.
play
Or
the
a
last
ladder.
turn. And Ryan was playing his 2 turns, which was his final turns, and I was waiting to play my final turn, and he was taking a long time because he was taking
taking
a
a long
sweet
time.
ass turn where he's doing a million things and getting
Not so
a million
angry.
points.
It's sweet ass
Yep.
turn. It was sweet.
I know.
I got so
and
many
for me, to try to maximize my points, I was going to do that action where you can re-roll the dice and try to get different
There's an action where you can re-roll the dice.
numbers. So I'm sitting there impatiently waiting while he's just more points, more points, more points. Oh, and then I get to do this, and then I get to do this, and I'm just then I can't even
Yep.
be planning my turn because I don't even know what I'm going to roll. And so I finally get to my turn. I roll the dice. It's not what I wanted. I thought I had no other choice but to just do this one stupid
She was
thing.
so mad.
Whatever, I guess I'll just do this.
Either way, it's going to give me 3 points. And I was like, hey, honey, if you just do this, that, and that, you'll get 25 points. She was like, what? Oh, Okay, yeah, good idea.
Yeah, but I mean that was a little, but that doesn't have anything to do with how awesome the game is. That was just that play. But yes, I really like this game a lot because of the similar feel to Castles of Burgundy.
Yep. Jeff, what about you? You played it.
I've played it once, and I really enjoyed it when I played. We just played it too.
Just me
so
and
I
you,
didn't
right?
know
Yep.
about like it taking a crazy amount of time with maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But again, if it feels like Burgundy, it could be a game my wife and I play. That would be like perfect.
If she likes Burgundy, which I know she does, she'll like this game.
Here's what
Yeah.
makes me sad is it makes me sad that Natalie really likes it, because every once in a while I text Ryan right before he puts on an auction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, are you going to sell Grand Austria Hotel?
what?
He's been
I'm just
asking about it for
There's about
years.
3 games that I'm like, maybe I
We
won't
both
buy it
like
because maybe Ryan will sell it and I'll just buy it from him.
There's a joke in my group of friends that, because I unload games all the time, and they let me know. They let me know.
If you ever unload
well,
this
Ryan's
one,
just
I
going to
want
sell
it.
it. You can just wait a couple weeks, and Ryan will sell
Yeah,
it.
so Grand Austria
Yeah.
Hotel, I just texted him about Maracaibo. I was like, hey, you selling
Yeah,
these
he was
anytime
like, I
soon?
like
and
it.
the answer is no. So I
if I
have to
do,
buy
I
it
will
on
think
my
of you.
own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's games that I'm like, you can't put this up here. I'm like, if you think about it, I want it before, and I'll buy it from you for whatever you want to put it up there as. But sure. Yeah. But it's a great game.
It's a good game.
It
I
is.
really do think Devin would like it a lot, especially if she likes Castles of Burgundy. It doesn't feel, it's not 1-to-1.
No, it doesn't feel like
if you
it's
have
the same
Castles of Burgundy,
game.
you don't not need Grand Austria Hotel. But they're as similar as they can get while still
Yeah.
being very different.
But
Yes.
like in terms of like the weight, right?
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
exact same weight, I would
Right.
say. And they just have very similar, you'll just get the same kind of feeling you get,
Right.
honestly.
And I mean, like you said, like the way you use the dice to get your actions, that's definitely different.
It's different. And it's cool. I really
Yeah.
like that mechanism. That mechanism.
I always think of
Mechanism.
this being Grand Austria Hotel. There was that movie.
Yep, Grand
The-
Budapest.
Yeah, Grand Budapest Hotel.
I
which
always
is
think
awesome.
that too.
It's also
I've
a
never
good
seen
movie.
it.
That's a great movie.
But
Yeah.
it makes me
It's
think
a
of
really
that.
good movie. Yeah, that's what I think of every time.
Doesn't it have
Yeah.
Bill Murray in it? Right?
Is he in it? Yeah,
in it?
I
Yeah.
think he's the.
I think so. Should I look it up?
Yeah, is he the
The main character.
No,
think
the
he's
main
the main
character. The main
character.
character is this like Indian guy.
No,
Oh.
Bill Murray's
Little Indian guy.
not
Is
in
it
it.
not Bill Murray?
Oh yeah, Bill Murray's in
Yeah,
it.
I think it is.
But he's definitely not like the.
He's not like the main
No, the
guy.
main guy
He's in
is this little kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen it. So
So that's pretty much what we have to talk about. We did play Pulsar finally with Jeff. We've been
Yes.
wanting to play Pulsar 2849 with Jeff. Jeff loves himself some Vladimir Suki. Underwater Cities has climbed up the ladder for Jeff, maybe into his top 5.
Probably. I
Maybe
would
into
think
his
so.
top 2. And so Pulsar 2849 came out the year before, maybe 2 years, 2017, I think maybe it came out. And I've had it, and Natalie and I have played it a few times, and we love it. Another game that kind of feels in that same weight of Castles of Burgundy, maybe Grand Austria Hotel. And Jeff bought it on listening to Natalie and I talk about how much we loved it, and we finally got to play it with him, which is the way I wanted it to happen, because we always talk about how much fun it is to play games with each other, and so
Yeah.
I really wanted to play this one in particular with Jeff.
agreed. I'm glad
And
we
we
played
got
this
to.
one.
Yeah, so
And it
Jeff,
was-
I'm really excited to hear what
Yeah.
you think about
It
it.
was awesome. I don't want to get into like the rules and everything.
Yeah,
You could
for
go
sure.
listen to episode something or another.
It was like last
It was
spring.
before me, so I
sometime.
don't really count.
Like,
the
yeah.
rules.
care. So we should just do it all
Yeah.
over again.
But it was
That was Era 2.
I love I love dice rolling. I love dice placement game. Like Coimbra is one of my favorite games, and I like the little bit of randomness in that every round's not going to be like, okay, I can plan every single thing out. You have to wait to roll the dice to plan it out. And then I like that there's so much to do. There's so many different ways to score points, but the ways to score points are clear. Here's how you score points. Here's what you need to do. You have a little cheat sheet that says this is exactly what you need to score points, but I can do it in tons of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And our play was really funny. You could also watch it on Instagram.
Yeah, Jeff chronicled it on
Oh,
Instagram.
right.
That's right.
Yeah, I did some date night dicing, and so you could watch us play it, which was just hysterical. And for the vast majority of the game, Ryan was just destroying Natalie and I.
Oh, yeah.
We were just.
I was getting coins.
Natalie and I were like so close, and I felt
Yeah.
like if we just like flicked Ryan's piece off the board, we'd had like a really competitive game.
competitive,
Well,
yeah.
but
And
go
at
ahead.
the
Yeah.
end, we caught like Natalie and I caught up. We caught up, and I think we were all within.
It was
Maybe
like
20
points,
25,
which is
Yeah.
which
Which is
sounds like a
close.
lot, but when the scores are in the 200s,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
like our
close.
first couple plays, the scores were very far apart.
This was the closest so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we all did pretty decent.
Yeah, we
but like
just-
Ryan was getting a lot of in-game points and we
Yeah.
were getting a lot of end game points.
Yeah, and we did different stuff. We did, Ryan focused on some technology. He focused on getting some extra dice. I focused on like traveling around space, and it was just it was just well done. Like I think there's so much variability with the different technologies. You could play the B side or the C side or the D side or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, the game's going to change every game because of the dice that you roll.
Right.
We had one round we had 4 2s.
Yeah.
Or
Right, and you have to
no 6s
on the fly
or-
be like, okay, now I got to come up with something else to do.
Yeah,
Right.
and if I roll a whole bunch of 6s, but I really need that 2, I'm moving one of my markers back, and it's just that there's like a tug of war feel when you take the dice.
Yeah, that
and-
part's really cool of
Yeah.
how you roll the dice and what it does to the tracks depending on what dice you take.
Yeah, because
That's really
you're almost
different and
kind
cool.
of penalized for taking some dice.
Yeah.
Or if it's the right dice that you really want, you can be. It can help you.
Yeah.
You want to
Right.
move that direction on that. I loved it. I
So
wanted
you're
to play
happy
it.
that you own
Cool.
it. Good.
Yeah, I'm
glad
happy
you
I own
loved
it.
it.
I was about to set it up yesterday.
giving me
I
goosebumps right now.
It's a good one. So play it.
Pulsar 2849.
Space.
Vladimir Suge. It's now that time again, dear gamers, where you get to shoehorn your way into my show and talk about you selfish jerks. This is the
God.
Instagram inbox.
And now it's time for the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
This is the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer. And if you remember, we did our top 5 last episode.
I remember.
Of games on BGG that were outside of the top 1,000, which
Wow.
was an awesome list. When I listened back to the episode, I was like, this is cool. Because we talked about a whole bunch of games that no one's heard of.
Yeah.
Right.
People have heard
or
of them,
games
but
we don't usually talk
less
about.
heard.
Yeah, you can pull up podcast after podcast about these top 100 games. And just,
Sure.
But
Right.
these,
And we're
we got
guilty
to
of that
highlight.
too, you know.
Yeah, so I posed the same question out on Instagram and got a lot of awesome answers.
Can't wait to hear it.
And also a lot of games that I never heard of
Yes.
or played.
That's what I'm most interested in hearing.
So there's some that I've just now even added to my I want list.
Good.
Based on some of these people who are like, this game.
That's what I need.
Oh,
More
I love
games.
this.
More
Yeah.
games,
Give me some
yeah.
more games. That's
Yeah.
what I want.
Our good buddy Peter, Nuclear Knight 83, coming in at 1359 Copenhagen. Or
Yeah. Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen's
Copenhagen's great.
Copenhagen.
He sent me a message. I should have wrote down something. It's like he's like if 2 games had a baby, it would be Copenhagen. It was like Tetris and something else had a
Oh,
baby
okay.
or something like that. It was
Sure.
kind of funny.
Okay, that's cool.
So we had board games, bad board game covers, who we love.
Also,
and
great account.
great account.
Go. Yeah. They. I feel like she. I'm guessing he. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
he's growing the account daily, and it's just getting. It's picking up some steam.
Yeah,
you know
more
what
and
I mean?
more people
It's
keep commenting.
And, well, and he's doing this other thing now, where he's doing a designer.
Yeah, like a
Showdown?
like a bracket. Kind
Yeah,
of thing, like a
yeah,
competition.
and so that it's kind of cool because it's completely different from his normal thing,
Yeah.
and so I like that a lot. So keep that up, bad
Yeah.
board game
Cool.
covers.
So this was on my list. Saikatsu at 1823. He also mentioned Unearth. Which
Okay, I
was a
remember
game
Unearth.
I had we
Oh,
played.
Unearth. Yeah, we played that.
Yep, we did.
Trivia Geek already. Dan. Ivanhoe.
I've heard of Ivanhoe. Is
Yeah.
that a Reiner Knizia?
I think so because I think Trivia Geek also commented when I asked the question, "What's your favorite Reiner game?" He was like, "It's
Oh, okay.
Ivanhoe."
okay.
So that came in at 1987.
Okay.
So Reiner had a game dropping down the list. Mythron BGG said Uno Flip comes in at 7,134.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what the regular Uno is. I don't know what Uno Flip
Uno
is.
Flip, huh?
I don't know if you got to like do a flip or you flip a card.
I know there's that one Uno where it, like shoots cards out of that machine.
Yeah, it's like where you tap the thing and then the machine shoots cards at you.
but
Uno Flip.
huh?
I don't know.
Okay.
I bet my students will love it. My students
right.
love Uno games.
Yeah,
So.
Uno is
That's
fun.
cool.
Our buddy Nestor had 2 that he loved.
Yeah, boy.
A game called Hunga. At 3860.
Wait, Honga?
Yeah, Honga.
That's new. That's a new one.
okay.
Yep, that might be a Haba game.
Maybe it's low.
It is a Haba game.
Okay.
That I know.
Yep.
And then Exploding Kittens comes in at 3503, and people love
Huh.
Exploding
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Kittens.
I'm kind of
Never-
surprised it's that low.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that love that game.
Yeah.
I've never played it, but yeah, I know. It's
It was the
very
number
popular.
one best-selling game on Kickstarter for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it had like
Yeah.
the record.
And they just keep pumping out expansions. They got a winner, so they keep
Might as
Yeah,
well.
Yep.
for sure.
I know I would.
Shuffled Up.
Get that money.
Shuffled Up likes Bob Ross.
Oh, yeah, The Art
Yeah.
of Chill.
The Art of Chill, 1573.
Oh, that's
What
cool.
did we do with that game?
We gave it away in a winner.
I have it.
Oh, you
I have your copy of that game.
Oh,
You
okay.
ever
Yeah, that's
play?
I
cool.
won the Tumbling Dice.
Yeah, the
tournament.
Nerd Fest.
Oh,
It was the
got
Nerd
that.
Fest tournament.
I have not played it. I
Interesting.
have it.
I wonder if that's any. If it's
Well, I
decent.
mean, hey, 15. What is it?
1573.
That's not
wow.
that. That's not that
That's
low.
not that far off.
That's
the
pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty
1,000.
high.
And the same company has made those like what's the other one with
Yeah.
Kenny G?
Yeah, the
Keep
Kenny
it
G. Keep it
sexy.
sexy.
Keep it
Keeping it.
sexy.
Keeping it sexy.
They got some funny games coming out
For sure.
He also had Raxon.
We never played it.
We never played it, but
What a cool marketing campaign that game had.
because you had to you could secretly invite people, right?
Yep.
That was at 26.
God, that was the coolest marketing. That was Plaid Hat.
Yeah. Ben from Date Night Dice, who is Bilbo
Leggins.
Bilbo Leggins. He likes Indian Summer at 1269.
I want to play that so bad.
I don't remember
all
which
three
one
of
I've played.
those.
Maybe I've played Indian
is that
Summer.
a Uwe one?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the Uwe
okay.
tile laying games. Remember, it was on Emily's top 5. They both said
Yeah.
he's like, I think the Uwe tile laying games, and she was like, I wrote down tile laying games
Yeah.
by Uwe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Indian Summer, Spring Meadow, and then Cottage Garden.
yeah.
right?
I
Is that
want to
the-
play all those because I mean they're polyominoes.
We were talking about playing them
want
at like
those
Grand Con
mofos.
where you could just like not have to buy it. You can just like grab it and play it just to see what you think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Indian Summer. I wonder if that's he. I know they've played all 3, so that must be his favorite of the 3.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did mention Spring Meadow, but Indian Summer he mentioned first, so that
Got
must
it.
have been
Got it.
first in his brain.
Okay, cool.
SD Bram likes Herbaceous Sprouts.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
Oh, I've heard of that
3029.
too. I've seen it at the store. I think.
3029. Okay.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, I hear these games. How are they that low?
Yeah.
And then I think about games that are above them, and I'm like, there's no reason this game should be above.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember Sergio?
Yeah, Sergio. Yeah.
He
With a Z.
likes Let's Make a Bus Route.
Oh yeah, I want to play that.
That is the game I've now
Yeah, I
added to
wanna
my
play
list
that.
that I
Never
want to
heard of
play.
that.
Yeah.
It's at 2360.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to play that for sure.
Okay, we have an Instagram name change.
We do?
What do you mean?
Formerly Don't Play an 8 has changed
Oh.
the name.
Yeah, because this was a placeholder.
Yeah,
name.
that's right.
Yes. And I don't know if now that both I don't know if they're husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend are now running this account together, but they are now the McMeeples.
Okay.
I like that.
The McMeeples. I like it.
Yeah, they like Fox and the Forest duet.
Oh, that's the
That's
the
like
cooperative
new.
one.
Yes.
That's brand new.
Oh, it's cooperative.
It's 2-player only. Like, well, Fox and Force was as well, but it's cooperative. Yeah.
Did we played
I might
Fox
like
and the
that
Forest,
more.
didn't
Uh-huh.
we? You have to win like a certain number of tricks.
It's like you don't want to win them all, but you don't want to lose them all.
Right.
You want to
Yeah.
win kind of like most of them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we played that a bunch.
Yeah.
Emotional Cyborg.
Yeah, we're getting into some beatdown names here.
like Skullduggery.
Oh, really? Okay.
I looked it up. So
Skullduggery.
so this is the lowest number.
Oh, really?
This is number 16,907.
That
Thousand?
you get an applause there, emotional robot.
Cyborg.
The robots. Yeah, Skullduggery. I don't know if you're looking it up, but it's
looking it up.
I've never heard of it,
Yeah.
and it's at number 6. It's so almost 17,000.
How
So-
many total are there?
I don't know. Do you know what's like the last rated game? How many total games?
Oh, there's
are there?
like 90,000
Oh.
games. In the
Oh, so this is
database.
in the upper half.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Better than so many games. But yeah, lowest on the list, 16,000.
I can't find
by
it. How's it
far.
spelled? I can't even find it in here.
I think it's one word. Try
Yep,
one word.
Yep, I'm trying one
Okay,
word.
try 2 words. Try 2 words. I think it might be 2 words. Like Skullduggery.
Like, okay,
D-U-G-G.
skull and then Duggery.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nope. Not finding it. Whatever.
Okay.
There's a Skullduggery I found, but it's coming out this year.
Okay.
So-
We'll look it up later.
Either way, it's so low you can't even see it. It's like
Our
Amazon.
friend Chris, the
Price is
charity
so
board
low.
gamer,
Oh yeah, charity board game.
likes Thanos Rising at 1380.
Cool. I've heard good
That
stuff
game
about
just
that
looks
game.
so cool.
It does look cool. I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, me too. Our good friend Nella,
Ella.
whose Noodles plays, likes Kodama, the Tree Spirits.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
At
Okay.
1080, which is close to that.
That's very close.
1,000
Right
mark.
on the cutoff.
I think did they come out with like Kodama 3D or
Yeah.
something? Is that,
yeah,
that's like
I don't know if
new,
they came
right?
out with it or if it's coming out, but yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
That's a popular game.
What kind of game is it? I don't
So,
know.
all right, there's a little history. Look,
Yeah.
I got a little history with
I was gonna
Kodama.
say, should we
Oh,
even
God.
talk
We're gonna
about
talk
this?
Played
about
it with Richard Lanius.
Oh,
no,
not
it's
good.
bad. It's bad.
uh-oh.
So our good friend Jeremy J. Pete, well, he does not do J. Pete Designs anymore, but Jeremy Germflinger
Germflinger.
on the Board Game Geek. He's, as you guys know from listening to the show, because you do, in Era 1, was a board game designer. He's designed many different board games. One day he went on Board Game Geek, and he had a design for a game which he called Kodama, and he had all the mechanisms out. He had the artwork even. He put on Board Game Geek, and he posted it, and he asked for people's thoughts. And so people were writing him back like, this looks awesome. It's a game about building a tree and tree spirits. Kodama is like these tree spirits. And so he like did all this stuff on Board Game Geek, and then like about 6 months later, this Kodama game comes out, and the artwork is eerily similar. The theme is obviously exactly the same. If you ask Jeremy, he'll tell you that it was more than likely ripped off from him. I'm not going to say that.
Right. Obviously, there was another perspective from the other side.
Yeah, sure. But it left whatever happened. And again, I'm not in any way. This is not the position of the Gamecasters is to say that this happened at all, because that's not what's happened necessarily. But either way, it left a very sour taste in Jeremy's mouth, because now he feels like, I can't go forward with my game because this game that looks very similar to mine and it has the exact same name and everything, and here it is. So
weird.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I feel bad for Jeremy in that way, because he had this design idea that just was weirdly, and I will say,
Well, because they said they swear that this person had this design for years.
Yeah, and that's probably
did
true.
Did Jeremy reach out to them and say hey, what's going on?
I actually,
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
I made a post and I was like, hey, I want people just take a look at this. Look at the artwork that Jeremy came up with. Look at the theme. Look at everything, and then look at this game that just came out called Kodama, and tell me what you guys think. And so people responded, and they were like, I'm not going to tell you that it's not a coincidence, because it's extremely coincidental, but I know the designer, and I know that he has had this design for years.
Wow.
But it's also weirdly coincidental.
It's weirdly coincidental.
So we don't know the truth, but
I didn't know that.
But in support of Jeremy, Natalie and I have just not sought out Kodama.
Sure. Right.
For
I get it.
only for that reason. But again, I want to emphatically state that it is not the position of the Gamecasters that we are saying that Jeremy's design was stolen by this design at all. It's just, it was just a weird kind of a thing that happened.
yeah, it was weird.
But yes, they are coming out with a 3D version.
Okay.
So
Next on our list is the NXT board games.
okay.
Who liked this? This is a franchise, the Hexplorit franchise.
I don't know that.
Explore.
I looked at. There's a lot of games. There's like a
Explore,
few
but with
games.
an H.
Yeah. And the highest rated one came in at 2218.
Okay.
And it has very cool art. The box cover looks really cool.
You said it's Hexplore?
Hexplorit.
Hexplorit.
Yeah. So that's a cool one. I don't know if you're pulling it up. There's like one with like a skull dude looking guy on it.
I'm trying. For some reason, I'm having trouble spelling anything.
Yeah.
I typed
we'll look
in
it up later.
Hexplorit.
That's what. Well,
So,
2 words.
I would think it's spelled.
See if
Oh, yeah.
Hexplorer comes up. Those two, that and Skullduggery, I had a hard time, I think, finding right away.
Got it. Found it. It's Explore space it.
Okay.
The Valley of the Dead King.
Yeah, the Valley of the Dead King. Cool cover, right? Cool artwork.
It does look cool. Yeah.
And okay, Mr. Days 1607 likes I'm the Boss.
Oh yeah,
at
that's Lewis. I think, right?
Yeah. Joey, who is Zim 2.0. Joey was one of the people that I was calling male and is definitely a female.
Oh,
Sorry,
right.
Joey.
But Joey, we're back on track now.
God, I hope we didn't
know
do
you.
that to bad board game covers.
I know.
Well, you said,
I said I think he's a guy, but I have no reason to base that off of. I don't know.
I know. We're just
Sorry.
sexist here at the Gamecasters. But Joey recommended a game that I now added to my list that I think my students really like called Mars Open Tabletop Golf.
Oh,
I looked it up.
the
It's-
Mars Open, so it's golf
you
on
set
Mars.
up, yeah. So the box comes with these different like obstacles.
Is it like a
and-
dexterity type?
Yeah, it's a dexterity game. It's like you're playing. Remember paper football? You'd
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So you'd flick like a paper football looking object, and you try to flick it into the golf hole. And it comes with like a book of how you set the different holes up. So there's like 18 hole golf course, and you like, all right, put the box there, put this sand trap over here, and then you're like trying to flick it around the course.
Oh, I must have this.
So it
sound
looks
cool.
really cool. It's rated 4,700 on Board Game Geek, but again, it's a dexterity game, and that only fits to certain kind of types of people who like those games. But it's on my want list. I have added it to my wish list on Amazon as well
Sweet.
as my So it looks really fun.
That's cool.
Never Bored of Gaming likes the boss monsters, the 2 boss
Oh,
monsters.
cool.
one, too.
Okay, I didn't realize those were outside the top 1,000.
Yeah, 1849, like kind of well
Interesting.
outside of it.
Yeah, wow.
And those games get a lot of love. People like that a lot.
Absolutely.
Really cool art, like
Like that
old
pixel, old video
Yeah.
game stuff.
Being Friends Official,
Love it.
who I have to give a shout out to. They just crossed 100 subscribers on YouTube, which is a huge,
sweet.
Amazing.
huge deal for them. So congrats.
Good job.
Being
Congrats.
Friends Official. They like, and they messaged you.
Real quick, is that their YouTube account?
Yes, Being Friends Official. Being Friends is their their
Okay.
YouTube account, so you can find
They
them there.
messaged me. Yep.
They messaged you with, do you remember what the game was?
Not a clue.
Cockroach Poker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Crack-a-lack and Packer.
We played
Yeah,
that
at,
once.
Yep.
at 10:38.
Oh, we still have it?
Yeah, we have it.
And I think they have a couple.
cool game.
They have a video of them playing Cockroach Poker.
Oh, cool.
So that you can
on
check
their
that out.
YouTube.
Go
too.
check
Yeah.
that out. Being Friends Official on, or being friends?
Being friends.
I think it's being friends.
Yeah,
and
I would
Official's
understand that
probably
the
just,
official is
like,
their
the-
official Instagram.
Right.
Because there's all those people that are just like stealing the being friends. We're being friends.
We're
yeah.
being friends. No,
Yeah,
we're being
friends.
So that was our listeners' top games their games outside the top 1,000.
Great.
So check those ones out if any of those are interesting to you. Or
I want that golf one now.
the golf one, there's a couple that I'm adding to my list.
Sweet.
So to continue, we also talked about asking our listeners if they had any questions for us. And we got a lot of responses, and we're going to get to all of those questions, but I don't want to turn this into a 3-hour episode where we answer every single question. So we're going to answer the first couple, which I felt like are some intro questions for maybe people who just start listening or have just, recently kind of found us. So there's a couple questions I'm going to lump these questions into one. So Nuclear Knight Peter, who we just talked about,
Peter.
Being Friends Official, and Mr. Day 1607 all asked very similar questions. And those questions were, how long have we known each other? What do we do for a living? What kind of stuff do we do outside of games? How did we meet? Those kind of like
Okay.
get to know us questions. So I don't know if you want to start.
Yeah, let me take this one. I want to talk about first. Most people I think maybe know at this point how that Natalie and I met at work.
Yep.
We work together, and we've met
5.5 years ago.
5-6 years ago. We met at work. Jeff and I, however. Jeff is the third Madigan brother that I've been friends. So okay,
number one in your hearts.
Yeah, back in high school, me and Deepwater Joe, who's a year ahead of me in school, were friends. He was dating a mutual friend of like mine and him, at the time, and so we would hang out. And Joe and I just became friends. We became friends back in 1999, 2000, like that kind of time-ish, maybe a little even before that.
Ooh, you're old.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was earlier than that because Joe graduated in 99 and he hadn't graduated yet. So, we were friends. And I had no idea Donkey Kong or Jumpin' Bones existed.
Jumpin' Bone?
Yeah. Jumpin' Boner's Jeff
I've
Madigan.
never heard
Yep.
that.
Oh, yeah. That's an old school nickname.
That was a poker joke.
Yep, Poker Joker. So, Joe and I were friends. We just hung out, and I don't even know what the hell we did or what we had in common, but we just hung out often, right? So then, fast forward a couple years, I get a job at Bill Knapp's, or I'm working at Bill Knapp's, and Dave, Joe's younger brother, gets a job at Bill Knapp's, and him and I become fast, instant friends. Dave ended up living with a mutual friend of ours, Jeremy, not the Jeremy that you guys know, but a different Jeremy friend of ours, and we would hang out every weekend. I would go to this guy's house, Jeremy, and all of us would just hang out every weekend. It was a big group of us. And it was kind of through that, because Jeff's a little younger, so Jeff started getting old enough to where we were all hanging out together. I met Jeff. And it's funny, I always talk to their mom, Barb, and I'm always like, if you had more kids, I'd have gone through the whole line. Because me and Joe were really good friends. Then me and Dave became very amazing friends. And they're still best friends of mine. We're all best friends, right? And now Jeff and I have gotten as close as you can get, really, without being gay. So we are...
And 1 hour, 12 minutes.
Sorry, guys. But so now Jeff and I we've been friends for years, and we all again would go to Jeremy's house and hang out and play poker. We'd play Halo, video games, and kind of stuff like that. And we just clicked. Jeff and I clicked instantly. We have very similar personalities. We're very similar in all the ways that matter. I think that to be friends, we just like to go goof around and joke around, and we all went to the same high school. But Jeff and I think we missed each other.
Yeah, we
right?
were not.
Yeah, I graduated before Jeff. Remember when we graduated? Yeah. And it's just we've just been best friends, ever since, pretty much. And like I said, Natalie and I met at work 5 or 6 years ago, and we've just our relationship has grown since then, and that's the little history of personal lives of us. Do you want to add anything to that, either of you?
Well, they asked some other questions, like what do we do for a living? We went at work. We work for an insurance company.
Boring.
I know. I am the supervisor of treasury.
And I'm the director of the compliance department.
Wow.
Yep.
Very exciting.
It's about as exciting as you might think.
Because you probably regret asking that question.
If you actually want to know more about the life of a property and casualty insurance company employee who runs the compliance department or the treasury department, the national treasurer.
I mean, to
send us
me,
an
it's
email.
interesting, but most people don't find that stuff interesting.
Yeah, I always
managing cash and investments for an insurance company.
thrilling. I'm a teacher, which a lot of you know.
Have you ever talked about that before? I don't know that we've known.
Does anyone know you're a
earlier in this
teacher?
episode.
Yeah, just today.
But I always think about like, all right, what I do every day, and I always think about what other people do, and I have no clue what other people do every single day. I'll even ask Dave, I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, well, I'm coding. I'm like, okay, coding. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, so what do you do tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah. I continue to code.
Yeah. And then I'm like, so same thing for you. I'm like, oh, so you treasure? What do you do? What do you do Fridays? Do you have anything you do in mind? So I don't know the outside world outside of teaching,
that's true,
but I know
you have a curriculum that kind of
it dictates that,
plans out your.
And it's
everyone
funny.
knows what you do because we've all went to school.
Yeah, and that's
so we know
that's
exactly what you do.
Everybody has an opinion about education and what teachers are and doing because everybody's gone to school.
Yeah.
And not some people deal with insurance are usually angry, but
that's the one thing that if I ever gave a lecture, I would try to break the stigma of insurance isn't just terrible.
Right. But that's people's interaction with it. So
for
then
sure.
they're like, insurance.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
whenever I tell anybody I work in insurance, they assume I'm an insurance agent every time.
Right.
Oh, what kind of insurance do you sell? I'm like,
Right.
well, I don't sell. I work for the carrier.
More than just that.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
Same with me.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
It's just
Same with me.
People
I'm
don't know.
in accounting, and I mean, I wasn't always like the treasury person. I was an accountant before, and everyone's always like, I'm like, oh, it's the busy season, and they're like, oh, because of tax season. And I'm like, no, I've literally never even done taxes before. So
Yeah. You can be an accountant and not do taxes.
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, that would be. So I teach. I run that board game club at school. I have a couple other groups at school that I run, like Link Crews. I kind of teach this group, and we do like leadership stuff in the building, which would also kind of fall into another question that the three of them asked was like things that we're passionate about. And during the school year, I'm passionate about teaching and my students.
Right.
It's hard to separate that every single day. You go home and you just think about what to do the next day. Obviously, my newest passion would be my son, and trying to figure out how the hell to be a dad.
There's no book on that
There's just like so
Learn
much
as you
stuff.
go.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a good teacher. I'm trying to be a good dad. I'm trying to be a good husband. I'm trying to be a good student because I'm trying to get my master's. So it's like
What?
there's a lot of
Did I
just
know that?
stuff going on.
It's a good thing to do for teachers to get some more scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be like what's going on outside of just board games. That's the stuff
Yeah.
that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, we play a lot of board games.
For
Yeah.
me, I mean, board games is my number one hobby passion.
Right.
I will say, I also love music, and I'm a musician, and
a very
I
good
play the
guitar
guitar,
player.
I play the bass guitar,
We've heard
I
him
play a
sing
little
on
piano.
this, so,
I sing once in a while. Yeah, I played. Well, I used to live in California. Many years ago, and I would play around bars in California. I also used to work for the Dr. Phil show way back when. And it's true. And I used to work for EA Video Games. I was a video game tester for a while. And,
Which seems like a dream job. Like when you're like a high school nerd who plays video games, and because we used to hang out every weekend playing video
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
that just
I could
seems
just
like
make
a
money
dream.
doing this.
it was in a way.
But,
I mean,
yeah.
it's all. I will say it's a job.
Yeah, he always says, like,
you
it's
would
still a
you would
work,
still much rather not do it than do it. That's how I can say
Yeah.
for me personally. And I was a tester. I wasn't like creating the game, so I didn't have a super big passion about it. But it was cool. I tested like Rock Band before Rock Band ever came out. I was one of the ones that tested that game, and so it was cool to be on the forefront of that and just being in California in the middle of it all, and that kind of stuff was cool. And I love, Natalie and I both love to kayak. So
Yeah.
we have kayaks. We live on a lake, and so we go kayaking in the summertime when it's warm outside. And those are some of the things there's a ton more that
say
I'm passionate
that
about.
Ryan's like kind of getting passionate into podcasting because he's obviously started this podcast. He started a podcast at work. And
Yep.
I mean,
For how exciting we talk about insurance. Listen to Ryan's insurance podcast.
yeah.
Well, I think we
he's
make it fun.
making it more
Yeah, I'm trying to
exciting
make it
because
exciting.
Well, that's your personality. It's
Right.
gonna be
Well,
more
so
exciting.
so real quick, yeah. So the reason, podcasting.
Well, I wanna
talking
say, like,
is, I went
you
to school
almost-
for
yeah,
this.
you
I went to
almost went to
broadcasting
school.
school. No,
Yeah.
I did go to school. I went to broadcasting school. There's a school in the area called Specs Howard.
Let me pause you really quick.
Yeah,
This
sure.
is Trivia Geek's question, so I need to give a shout out
Oh,
to Dan.
gotcha, sorry.
Trivia Geek said, what made us want to start a podcast?
Okay,
So,
for sure. Yeah, so I went to broadcasting school. I graduated valedictorian from
what
Specs
up?
Howard, but I went more in the video concentration. Even though my grandfather was a radio host way back in the day on this radio station called WWJ, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps. I had a really big kind of passion for being animated and kind of talking and doing all that. I just like doing that stuff. And so I went to Specs Howard, this broadcasting school, specifically to be a radio host. And halfway through the school, you decide whether you're going to go the radio concentration or the video concentration. And all my friends were going the video concentration, and I found out there's really no money in radio. And so I just went along with the group there. That's how I got involved with Dr. Phil. So from graduating there, I went out to California and did all that kind of stuff. But I always still had that kind of passion. I always wanted to be on the radio. And so that dream never was realized. But so I kind of decided when I started getting into this board game hobby, like, oh my gosh, I love board games so much. How can I fuse these things I'm passionate about together? And the podcast idea for me was born. And I was like, I can fuse this love that I have for the radio, the passion that I've always wanted to do be on radio with my love for board games. And it was just born out of that. And Jeff actually has some broadcasting experience as well. He did a lot of that stuff in high school. And so now he's involved, and it's just a perfect fit, I think, for us as a group. And Natalie loves board games and loves talking about them. And so this is, that's how it happened. That's how the podcast started. And
here we are.
Era 3. So
the best
thanks
era.
for the question.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, send more.
Yeah, so plenty more. I might wait a week or so to put out the next, what kind of questions you want to answer, because I got 5 or 6 other great questions that we could form another topic around. So maybe I'll pause or wait a couple episodes to ask again. But thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the communication. I love talking to people on Instagram. It, again, is another way that I can get my board game fix when I'm not playing board games. So
awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, guys. That is the Instagram inbox.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So seated comfortably at number 15 in the current BGG rankings is Stefan Feldkondam's highest rated game, The Castles of Mad King Burgundy. We all love the Castles of Burgundy to pieces here on the Gamecasters, but everyone always tells me that if you really love something, you have to set it free. So it's time to Harry and the Hendersons' Castles of Burgundy in this episode's Board Game Beatdown.
Number one.
With over 41,000 ratings and 7,000 comments, the Castles of Burgundy is due for the board game beatdown treatment.
Yes, it is.
Are you guys ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Here we go. R. Lawrence66 says, fiddly, tedious, drawn out, and boring. The same qualities that the designer seems to bring out in all of his games.
Oh. Natalie's not going to like this one.
Yeah, this is one of Natalie's favorite games, so.
I really like this game, so I'm probably going to disagree with all of these.
We should do that where we beat down our
fiddly?
favorite games.
Yeah, our favorite
and then
game.
we can get mad at it.
Man.
Yeah, it's really
So
this is happening now.
Yeah, it's happening. All right.
All right.
S. Goseric says, it's a sissy game.
That is a bully comment
Sissy.
right there.
I don't like that. You're a sissy. Okay.
Oh,
You're a sissy
boy.
game.
You're a sissy game. Okay.
Pro Player says, if you like mathematics and love spreadsheets, then maybe this game is for you. Well, guess what? I do like this game.
Yeah.
So it is for me.
Oh, man.
What is that supposed to be like a...
Mathematics. I've never felt like, man, I need to get a calculator while playing.
People
know.
say that a lot. They're like, you like
Spreadsheets?
spreadsheets and...
They're saying that like an insult, but like in my world, that's what everybody likes.
Yeah.
It's really...
I think this beatdown segment is going to be way... Like, the beatdowns are secondary to Natalie's hatred
Yeah.
of the beatdowns.
Okay. Kosteric says, I don't understand what anybody sees in this crap.
Oh,
She's just staring at me.
I mean,
just so mad.
first of all, it's not crap, but whatever. Everyone has their own opinion. John Clark says, do the dice make too much luck? I don't care. Are there multiple paths to victory? I don't care.
What?
The game is so dull, I just want it to be over. My only turn planning is what will take the shortest time so it will be over faster.
Okay, you can't be that mad at that one. 'Cause
I mean-
you've done that to games before. Where, you
Yeah.
played a game, we played Dinosaur Island, and you remember you were just like, I just want this to be done. I just
like,
don't
what can
care.
I do to make
How
this
can I
game
just
be
make this
done?
be done?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, okay, I'll let you have that one, John Clark. I don't agree with it, but you can have that opinion. It's not a sissy game. But.
Okay.
Disposable Superhero says
Throw that guy
one.
away.
Yeah, get rid
He
of him.
comments 1, but he rated it a 2. But with the comment 1.
Okay, that's the only comment. He's just
really
one.
It just
He
says the number
So
1.
he rated the game 2, but he put his comment was 1.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Molra says, everything you do scores points, from twitching your finger to nodding your head. I will
Nope.
never play this again.
That's wrong. That's wrong. That
I
is-
twitched my finger.
that
I
is
didn't
wrong.
score points for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just be like playing the game all weird.
nod your head.
Yeah, just nod your head. You win.
Points,
you
get
just
points,
get
get
points. Wrong.
Thank you. I'm glad someone agrees with me.
There's no not agreeing with that one. That's true.
Ted W says, if multiplayer solitaire, point salad, lack of coherent theme, and excruciating downtime are your thing, I give you Castles of Burgundy.
He had me, but the excruciating
downtime.
downtime is not. I mean, maybe if you're playing 4 players,
Yeah,
maybe.
'cause we
I
don't
guess.
usually
I wouldn't
play
say
with
there's
that many.
excruciating.
You're also taking from a
downtime.
common board, which makes it not
I
solitary.
think we're all
at
taking this a little too.
I know we're
I
all
know.
like defending it.
We're like- usually we're just laughing, like,
This segment's over.
You deserve
it.
the Twilight struggle.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Okay.
But this one's like near and dear to our hearts. Melrose says, in Soviet Russia, dice roll you.
Wait a minute. Why is there an Italian person reading?
A pizza, spaghetti.
That's the only accent I know how to do.
Try that again. Try that again.
In a Russian accent? Or
Wait, you were supposed to be doing a Russian accent.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. In Soviet Russia. No.
Now it's just Count Dracula.
Is he Russian?
I rate this a 1.
3.
Dice
one
roll
rating.
you.
1. In Soviet Russia. 1.
All right.
You do it.
I won't stop this time.
In Soviet Russia. I don't know what the.
Dice roll you.
In Soviet Russia, dice roll you.
Yeah, I guess
that's the whole guy.
better than
That's
mine. Yep,
I guess,
yep.
I guess it's better.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay.
WK over says, or maybe W Cover, I don't know. I take a 30-second turn and I grow increasingly bored while others take 5-minute turns. Though I did learn my burgeoning agony that my nails need trimming, the ceiling needs washing, and everyone else in the room is having more fun than I am. If I see you coming with Burgundy, I'll be running the opposite direction. Nothing personal.
I kind of want to walk up to this guy holding Burgundy and watch him run away
Run.
from me.
Run.
Run full tilt.
I mean, if this is what he thinks of this game, I've been there, not in this game, but in other games where like I feel like I just take my turn quickly and everyone else is like taking a really long
forever.
time.
Yeah, that
and that
happens
is
a lot.
frustrating. So sorry about that. Maybe you should play it again and with other people.
Play it again. Give it a try. Don't run away from us. Come back. Come back.
just put all the Burgundy components in a different box.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just
Are you
gibberish.
doing
What?
some like Call of Cthulhu stuff?
Yeah.
This is
Like,
gibberish.
Patagon
The name
Cthulhu.
is ASFHGWT.
ASF.
Can you try
You
to
try
say
to
that again?
explain that.
GWT.
Asfagwit
All right, good.
says, I'm sick of these. Each player has a player mat and you build your own village games. They are exercises in mutual masturbation.
What? Mutual masturbation.
Let's all sit around together and jerk off with our player mats. Ugh. What is there?
What?
How do you not like individual player mats? First of all,
I know,
that's
that's
like the
like-
greatest
that's like
thing
my
ever
favorite.
in a board game. Not according to
Gradman 2K3 says,
Grab man.
Wait, grab or
Grad.
Oh,
Like he
grab is
graduated.
funny.
He's a
from
grab
school.
man.
Yeah, like what was the last one we did where I really thought it was Taco Jones?
Oh.
No time for
Oh.
love, Taco Jones. But it was really like Dr. Jones or something.
yeah,
Jones,
something like
Dr.
normal.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
Gradman says, that's 4 hours I will never get back.
You played
4
Burgundy in 4
hours.
hours?
That's a really long game.
I
Again,
can play Burgundy 4 times in 4 hours.
yeah, play with 2 players. Okay, moving on. Dr. Glaze et al. says,
Okay.
if you like the sort of thing, consider taking up knitting instead, since you'll have a better discussion at the table knitting with friends than
Why?
playing a game like this.
Why do they assume that?
A knitting group?
Why? What's the better discussion
This is
inherent
another
to
point.
knitting?
Maybe you should play with more interesting friends.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's not the
Boom.
game's fault. It's a
And
friend.
also,
It's not
what
his
is
fault
it
either,
about
it's
the
the friends.
discussion? Why do you have to discuss things?
I just cannot believe how angry we're all getting.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Just hit it. We're going to need a break.
We didn't even care about any of the comments. We're like, ha ha, they think it's
Yeah,
terrible.
Twilight
ha, ha,
Struggle,
ha.
wasted tree. Haha, you suck.
Better conversation knitting. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even just because it's games we don't know that well. Because like Wingspan was one of them, and we all like that game, and we didn't get mad.
We beat down Wingspan?
I think that was the first one. Wasn't
I
it?
don't remember.
No, Pandemic Legacy.
Oh, no,
but
Pandemic
you read
Legacy
some.
wasn't the
Didn't you
first
read
one.
some
It wasn't?
Wingspan? You did read Wingspan. You read it.
I think maybe, but I don't think we actually did a beatdown.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
like
that's what
our-
it was.
Oh, maybe it
I
was
think
like
I
the
was just
beginning
like-
of the beatdown.
yeah, because
like,
you read some Amazon comments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. There was a couple.
Okay,
Amazon
okay,
things.
okay. Madger says,
Madger.
boring and only for nerds.
Nerds.
Do you realize
Listen
you
here,
wrote this on a
dweebs.
Board Game Geek?
Yeah, but those are geeks.
website.
Those are geeks. Geeks are cool.
Only
Yeah.
for nerds. You're a
Listen
nerd,
here,
by the way.
nerds.
If you even played this game.
Yeah. And you have a BGG account or
You're a
user
nerd.
account, and you just
You
rated
are
the
a
game.
nerd.
Yeah.
You're a nerd.
You're a nerd.
Yeah.
Dweeb.
Oh my god. We're so mean. Elandel84 says, this game is so I guess it's better than doing nothing, but not by much.
Ooh.
Is it a 1?
I don't know.
That
Because
one.
like a 1, would a 1 be nothing, and he rated a 2 maybe?
maybe.
You look at them like
I usually
ones,
go
twos,
1,
sometimes
2s,
threes.
and 3s.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, those have the best.
Because those are usually the ones that hate.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're meh.
That one's.
Eh.
well,
better than doing nothing.
Okay, guy.
All right, guy.
Okay, yeah.
Listen to your Aunt Diane. Whatever that girl's name.
Carol.
Oh, yeah.
Aunt Carol, whatever.
Raptorb says, the points dished out on every turn made it seem like the game was patting me on the head. Look how good you did. What a great move. Have some points and then some more points for getting those points.
That's funny. Who said that? Rip Torn?
Raptorb.
Oh, okay.
I'm a troll in Central Park. All right.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think is it like that?
What? It's a point salad for sure.
There are a lot of points for sure. But
Yeah.
That was, I think, one of maybe the first games that popularized the point salad kind of stuff,
I
where you just
I
get
like
points
point
for doing
salad
everything.
games.
me
Canik
too.
Lewis says, my least favorite Stonemeyer game.
It's not Stonemeyer game. That's like worker placement.
yeah, worker placement.
Oh, yeah.
My least favorite.
Worker placement can't be on here.
Right.
Right.
He is not.
Yeah, because it's worker placement.
Commander Overbite says,
What?
That's the best name. So
Commander Overbite.
Commander.
Oh, Overbite. Not Underbite.
Yeah.
Oh,
push the buttons, get the pellets. The player who has amassed the most pellets when button pushing is arbitrarily cut off wins.
you should see Jeff's face.
What?
He's not into that one.
Well, okay, guy.
All right, Commander.
Pellets.
Yeah, I guess the.
just like a point-
This just
it's like
seems
a
like a
point
point
salad.
salad.
Yeah,
kind
people
of.
who have problem with
And then
point
arbitrarily
salads.
ending. Well, it ends at the same time. 8 rounds and it's over. Not arbitrary.
Get a
It's not like all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, it's over.
I think he's saying
Yeah.
according to the design.
Sure,
like
yeah.
they just
Why
randomly.
does that make
yeah,
sense?
why is
So
it
I get
We're just
8
gonna cut it off
rounds?
now.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah, but all right, guy.
Selwith says, finally a game from Steffenfeld that has a payoff at the end for laboring through the language of the game.
Oh, it sounds like a good one.
My only complaint is that the game is a little too long for what it is. Sometime later,
oh,
what a dumbass I was. There is no payoff. Just a gimmick that's cute for the first 30 minutes, like every single Feld game ever designed. Victory points should only be awarded for power moves, not for scratching your ass.
ooh.
ouch.
Wow.
A lot of these people just.
So I can get points in this game for
do
scratching my ass,
nodding your
twitching
head.
my finger, and nodding my head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, this is great.
Yep. What an easy game.
Yep.
So easy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people do not like point salads. Apparently, some don't.
Guess so.
Beatdown.
What do they like then?
Well, there's.
Probably end game like. I don't know.
What else is there? No, I'm just kidding. Jax 900 says boring.
Okay, that one. I can't. Disagree with them. You know what I mean? If they think it's boring, I mean, I disagree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I
You
can't.
disagree
I
with
don't blame them for
but
that.
You can't
for not.
blame them for having that opinion.
Yeah. Others I can blame
yeah.
for having opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah, like their opinions are just wrong. But his is his.
You're entitled to your wrong
his is
opinion.
Acceptable. Hive God says, here's an example of the heated player interaction that can happen. Player A thinking, man, I can't wait to pick chickens. Player B picks chickens. Player A, God damn it. That
Really
is
funny. That happens a
that does
lot
happen.
in that game.
That
A
does
lot.
happen.
Yeah.
But what's wrong with
I
that?
want
That's
that
an
tile. I
example
want
of the
that tile.
heated
Damn.
interaction
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about.
I'm going for chickens. Why'd you get chickens?
Yeah.
Well, I want to get chickens too. Yeah, been there.
That's a direct quote
Yeah.
from everyone who's played that.
Maculator says, just too ugly.
What is it? Maculator? Like catch you later? Maculator?
Calculator, bro.
It's like Makulator. This is the only one that I can't really blame him for because I mean it
What
is
did it
kind of
say?
ugly.
Ugly.
Just too ugly.
It is very ugly.
That's
Yeah.
my
Even the
that's
new version
the
is
only
kinda still
downside
ugly.
of this
Yeah.
game is that it's ugly, but everything else is great. So yours is acceptable. Rio Games. This is the head of Rio Grande Games.
No.
Oh.
The component quality, like most all Ravensburger games, is lacking and detracts from the
Shots
enjoyment of
fired.
playing the game.
So the head of Ravensburger comes on to knock down Aaliyah.
I would like to pause and say that they publish Underwater Cities, which is one of my favorite games. Rio Grande and Ravensburger. And that quality is not good.
I thought Underwater Cities was its own delicious games public. Like
I feel like
Vladimir
I've seen...
Suki.
maybe I'm completely wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, it does say Rio Grande there. Actually,
says Rio
It does
Grande.
say Rio Grande. I think they distribute it. Maybe. Oh. But his point is valid.
Still.
There.
Yeah.
Underwater Cities has maybe the
And was this who said this? This is Rio Grande.
Rio Grande.
Yeah, Rio Grande.
Yeah.
For this.
Come on.
So listen here.
I mean, I will say that some games the component quality does like detract from the enjoyment, but this particular one sticks out as one of the ones that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, it is better. It's better than the component quality for
Yeah.
sure. Because the component quality is not great.
The
in
gameplay,
Burgundy.
but I can understand if you just don't seem to like that kind of a game,
Yeah.
it's going to be worse
you can find-
because
Right.
the artwork
No, you're right,
is
you're right.
dreadful. Because it is.
I mean,
the
now I'm
components are
feeling a little bit
terrible.
bad because obviously everybody likes different kinds of games, and I just like this one a lot. So, you can not like it, and it's okay. We'll still be your friend, but I don't like hearing these.
But I still don't
Maybe
like
we
it.
shouldn't do
Yeah.
beatdowns of games that we all
I think it's even
love.
I think it's better that
Yeah,
way.
it's funny.
I think it's better.
Then I can yell at people. who I don't know.
Right.
The last one, Raven Me, says a Euro math puzzle that feels more like a team homework assignment than a game.
Oh, we're all working
So it
together on
sounds
this
like
homework
they
assignment.
don't like the
We just
artwork.
copy off each
So
other
a lot of
like
people think
games.
it's too mathy, which I love. And
Yeah, it's all very similar dislikes.
other people think that it's like just boring or it's a point salad.
Yeah, they just wouldn't like games that I like.
Yeah.
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 So it's just these all are people who have that particular
Beatdown.
opinion.
Yeah.
Burgundy
Come and
got the
get your
beat
bird
down.
down.
At least we didn't have any like buddy
Burgundy
wanting to
down.
harm themselves. I
Yeah,
mean,
no
that's
one
like
was like, I'd
that's a
rather
step up from
stick
the other
a pen
games.
in my eye. Like, oh.
That's true. It was just boring.
I'd rather
to
have
people.
surgery.
It was all.
I'd rather be at my grandparents' funeral.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a
I
bad
know.
one.
At least
Oh, God.
they're more like
that one was.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was
this is
dark.
like-
It got dark.
Against the
Yeah,
game, yeah.
it
I know.
Good one.
Chugga 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 chugga. It's once again time for the association train to screech powers on into Lisa Turtle Station, where you can find Jeff and Natalie ready to fight to the life over this episode's clues. Are you ready? Don't care. Number 1.
We tied last
Wait,
time.
what are we doing right now?
We're doing
Yes, we're doing
association.
association. What?
Don't you remember the train noises
We
you
didn't
just
even
made?
pause the thing when we did. This was just rolling.
yeah,
right
we just
into
like
it. It's not like we
I-
paused.
Did you just say we rolled right
Rolled
into it?
into it.
Oh,
nice.
man.
I have to say
in
that
the spirit.
the choo-choo part is the part I feel most like embarrassed.
Oh, really? It's great. You're doing it, Eddie. You're doing it. I like it a lot.
We tied last time you
Yeah,
remember?
and
Yeah.
this is one of the first times ever I don't have to go over the ones that were missed because none were
We
missed.
didn't
Oh, yeah,
Because you
we
got
got 'em
all
all.
of them.
Look at us.
Very impressed with you guys.
All the
Can you keep it
sexual
going
ones
into
that
Yeah,
Ryan
that's
created.
right.
Oh,
Can you keep it
right.
going into this episode's Association Station? Let's hope so. Are we ready?
I'm ready. Gotta move
Wait,
my mic
let me
a little
get
bit.
out my papers.
You
Pat-
peppers?
pat-
pat-
pappers.
Little peppers.
I got a pepper.
I got a pepper. Hey, 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 hey. All right.
All
Are we
right.
ready?
Yes.
Get
Ready.
those bell ringing fingers primed and ready to go. Oh, Jeff's getting points.
I'm
You're getting
scoring
points,
points in
Jeff.
Burgundy.
He's scoring
Twitching
points.
my finger.
He's- All right. Number 1. Stop. Jeff.
Go.
Yeah.
I was like, halt.
Halt.
Yes, that's 1 point for Jeff. Jeff, can you
Go.
keep score?
Nice.
Yep.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Number 2.
Nice job.
I expected Natalie to get that one, and And Jeff got it instantly. And
then Natalie goes, "Nice
Natalie's
job."
still mad.
Nice job.
Natalie's still mad over the beatdown.
She's frazzled. I got her.
You see her face?
Yeah.
Nice job.
Nice job. Cool.
It's like when you're a kid, you lose something, and your parents force you to shake hands
Yeah.
with your brother.
Yeah, you're like, good job.
Good job.
I'm so happy.
Number 2, Azul Pool. Natalie.
Blue Lagoon?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Blue Lagoon.
Thank God.
Great
I couldn't
job.
think. I kept thinking Blue Planet, but I was like,
Yeah.
that's a show.
Yeah.
I was like,
Ooh,
blue,
it's a good
I was like,
choice.
Azul,
Yeah.
is that blue or red?
All right, number 3, Deceased Dunphy.
Let me write this down.
Deceased Dunphy. You guys should both know this.
Wait, I think I know where you're going with this.
Deceased Dunphy. Jeff.
I got it. It's Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter. Yeah.
Oh,
Ariel
Ariel
Winter.
Winter.
Ariel
I was,
Winter
I was
is
just
Alex
going through all
Dunphy
the.
on Modern
All right.
Family.
Yeah, I was
The
going
dead
through all
ones.
the characters.
Great job.
But I was thinking like their character names. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh.
Dead
Yeah,
Phil.
Dead
Nope.
Phil. Yeah, I did the same
Oh,
thing.
is that
Dead
what you were
Phil.
doing too?
Yeah.
Dead Phil.
And then I'm
Yeah.
like, what are the other ones' names again?
Number 4, Tonic Ejaculation.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Tonic.
Tonic ejaculation.
Writing ejaculation on my paper. Tonic. Tonic ejaculation.
Tonic ejaculation.
It's like a drink.
not as
Is that a
sexual
drink
as
you
you like.
order?
Yeah.
I'll take
I'll
two.
have one tonic
Tonic
ejaculation.
ejaculation.
Trying to think of like synonyms
On the
for
rocks.
this.
Tonic ejaculation. We can come back.
All right.
All right.
I don't ever want to come back to a tonic ejaculation. But,
Number 5. One night, when I was maybe 10 or so,
Is this
I had
it? Hold
trouble
on,
falling asleep.
oh.
My bedroom was the entire top floor of our house, with my bed and such being on the left side, and storage closets and a play area being on the right. I was lying in bed when I heard a noise from the other side of the room and see a rocking horse begin to rock. It was sitting just outside one of the storage closet doors. It proceeded to rock its way halfway across the room and stopped dead under the ceiling light. Nobody was on it. At this point, I was freaking out and just buried my head under my blankets and never peeked out again until morning. It was all confirmed to not be a dream, as the rocking horse was still in the middle of my room when I woke up. Furthermore, I got a stern reprimand from my parents for being up out of bed, playing with my toys well past bedtime. Now, their bedroom was directly below the storage closet play area and had heard the creaking of the rocking horse shuffling across the room. That's my clue. You want it again?
How would I write that down?
Some crazy story about a rocking horse.
I have a guess. Hold on.
Jeff.
I'm gonna guess noises at night.
Nope.
Oh.
I
Nope.
had a guess
Good guess,
too,
but
but I
nope.
think it's wrong because I feel like you already did.
That's a really good guess, Jeff.
You already did this
Thanks.
game.
It fits.
It does fit. It does fit.
Partial point.
It's not what I was... You'll give him a creative point for that one.
Creative point. Hold on, the bells.
Actually, what I'll
Should I
do
just go
for
from
that
my
one, because...
gut?
Yeah, go from your gut.
I don't think this is right because I think you already did this
Okay.
before. But stuffed fables.
No.
Is that's a good guess?
It's like a
right? Is that where
storytelling
kind of
game
stories
for
are? I don't
kids.
know.
kind
You guys
of
are
thing.
saying half of this game over and over again.
What?
Okay.
We're saying what?
Let's go Yeah, you've said it like it's in that last sentence. You said the half of the game.
Oh,
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
We'll come back
even
to
I'm
it.
gonna
say?
write down long one.
Since you
Story.
both guessed and got it wrong, you can both guess again.
Saying half
Okay.
of the game.
Normally you get one guess and you're out.
Oh.
But you
I got
both
another
guessed it, so Jeff.
Dark stories.
No.
Dang it.
What does he mean? We're saying
I don't
half
know.
of the game. What
Jeff
did I
just said
even
half
say?
of the game. Okay. Number 6.
Who knows?
Are we ready?
I can't guess on that one again.
Number 6. Love potion.
Oh boy. Love
Love
potion.
potion.
I'll take a tonic ejaculation. Ooh. Well, why does he make that face? It's like he makes a face and we're supposed to like know it all of a sudden.
I don't know.
Love potion.
Love
Love
potion.
potion. Number 9. Number 9.
Natalie.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
I said it. But I just said it.
Man. You got it. I don't get it.
There's a song, Love Potion,
Potion
number
number
9.
Oh, yep.
Have you not heard of that?
No.
Oh, damn. Really? Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
All right.
that's good.
Number
That leaves a
7.
point.
Penetrated stories.
Jeez, OB.
What is with
Jeff keeps flipping his pen.
Penetrated.
Every time he keeps flipping
Penetrating.
penetrated?
Penetrated.
Oh, like you already had
Penetrated
it. Penetrated stories.
Natalie.
Stuffed fables?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you've done that one.
I might have. I never
Good
remember.
one, Natalie. Out to a lead.
Number
Run away
8.
with it.
Madigo the Frog.
Madigo?
Madigo.
What
the
is
Frog.
that?
Madigo is a game publisher.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Madigo the frog.
Madigo the Frog.
I'm not doing well. Madigo the frog.
Do you know I hope you guys know the game publisher Madigo.
Yeah.
Nope. I just asked you what Madigo was, though. I don't.
All right, well,
clearly.
Jeff, this is your chance to come back.
Yeah,
man.
well,
Madigo the Frog.
So it's probably something about a game they publish.
Kemet's the only game that comes to my head with. Oh, it's Kemet. It's Kemet, like Kermit.
Like I could have stolen it.
Yeah. I kind of got it though.
You said it.
We're giving that one to Jeff.
Yeah, I get that one. I said it.
Well, this is what happened in my head. I'm like, oh, Kermit. And then I realized, no, it's Kemet. What he just said. Duh.
Oh, so you had it. Yeah. Kemet.
No, I get it now. I only had it because you said it.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know what
That
Madigo.
was the only game I could think of that. There's other ones, obviously.
can't stop laughing. The way this all happened is so funny. If I can think of Kemet, and then Natalie's like, and she goes, really just like, oh, it's Kemet. Right before she hits the bell, and he's like, oh, hit the bell.
I feel like I shouldn't have counted if I rang the bell.
That was a cluster. That's
3-3.
funny.
And we still have
You still
some
got-
ejaculation, that long one. That's
Yep. Yeah, tonic ejaculation. And one night when I was maybe 10 or so.
Oh, yeah. The horsey was moving across the room, and my mom was like, stop making noise.
And there are some creaks in their bedroom.
Noises at Night was a very good,
I thought
very
so.
good
That was
guess.
a good
That was a
guess.
very good guess. I think what it is, you'll also agree
Sure, yeah.
is a good clue. Okay, number 9. You ready to flip your pen?
Here we go. Something about doing it.
Flip your pen?
Number 9, phallic recipe.
This is like a reoccurring theme.
Yeah.
Phallic recipe.
Yep. I had another clue that I'm not using for it, and it was penis juice.
Oh my god.
The same one.
I went with phallic. I think phallic recipe is a better clue for this.
Phallic recipe. Google that. Phallic.
Phallic recipe. This is a good one. I'll tell you this. Well, I guess I don't know for a fact. I'm pretty sure none of us own this game.
Ooh, we don't own phallic
Oh.
recipe.
And I never have.
Do I even know what this is?
I think Bill might own it. You know it. You know the game. Pretty sure Brian Beach. Actually, I know Brian Beach has it.
Oh man, I'm putting a disadvantage. Phallic.
I think Bill might have it too.
Phallic
Joe.
recipe.
Phallic recipe. Write that one down. We'll come back.
Okay.
Number 10 and the last 3.1.
Ooh, 3.1.
Dual chamber detonation. Dual chamber detonation. Jeff's got it. Jeff.
2 rooms and a boom.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Good one.
2 rooms and a boom. So that puts him up 3 points.
Well, if I get these other 3,
get
then
the other
I
3, yeah.
we tie.
So the 3 that you've missed so far: tonic ejaculation, which
long
both
story.
of you can get.
The long story.
Yep. One night when I was maybe 10 or so. That story. And phallic recipe. Seriously, throughout the rest of the
Yeah,
episode,
yeah.
if you guys get those, do it to it.
Phallic recipe.
I
Any?
think we should get that one.
Yeah, I think your best chance. Honestly, I was pretty. I'm pretty surprised that you haven't gotten the long one.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty.
But you said you kept saying we were saying half the game.
That's why I'm surprised you haven't gotten it.
Yeah. But which half? And
and
Is it
you
tricky?
said both of us said half the game?
Should I give you a clue? Should I let you both do it and I'll give you a clue? want a
maybe
clue?
not. Should we wait?
Okay.
I
Okay.
feel bad about getting clues and then
Yeah.
maybe at the end.
Yeah. We'll
Man,
go into
what a-
the. Well, let's just roll on into the Gamecasters top.
Ooh.
Ooh.
What are you oohing about there,
She's oohing.
girly girl?
The long story.
Well, then
All right.
do
Hit
it.
the bell. We both
Natalie.
missed it.
Rory Story Cubes?
No. Should I just tell you now because you both didn't?
We both guessed it how many times? Twice.
Well, then aren't you going to let people guess it?
But how are we going to type that on Instagram?
Oh,
Yeah.
good call. Good call.
Okay, are we ready?
Aw. Fine.
Huh? What?
Ghost stories.
Oh, man. Because it's a ghost.
Oh, I didn't even think of it as ghost.
Jeff's thrown his
Like,
pen
ghost
so
didn't even,
many
like,
times.
occur to
Ghost
me.
story.
Ghost
It's a
stories.
ghost story.
Noise that night was a great guess,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was thinking of ghost stories.
I like that
Darn.
game.
Okay, so Jeff wins this episode's association station,
Whoa, whoa.
and of a score of
6-3.
6-3. Even if Natalie
But-
gets the last 2, he would still win.
You only got one more than me.
Yeah, it's only one more.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
Well, if you get them both.
Remember that one time in the first one? She was like,
Yeah, but you-
Good job.
No, I just mean he.
Great.
Yeah, stop.
Oh,
I
fun.
mean, he only got one more right than me.
Yeah, only one more,
Yes.
right?
Well, you did that last episode. He got like 2 more right than you, but you got the last
Yeah,
one. So
that's true.
you can't just say that.
Fine, Jeff's
Sometimes it
better.
happens the other way. And Jeff never says that to you. So here we go. My name's Ryan James. Guys, what's my weakness?
Games.
Okay, then, playing, gaming, minding my business. Yo, you guys have looked around to make my top 5 list. I swear, I feel like I'm gonna flub this. This week's list was harder than me watching Pornhub vids. Don't know how you two come up with it. Would you just help? This is hell. Well, it makes me want to poop. Poop and poop.
Oh my
Do
god.
you think he makes this while he watches those videos? Like, look at a tonic ejaculation.
Yeah.
There's all these things.
all right.
Is
Here's-
Pornhub your inspiration for
You-
this podcast?
You seem to react positively to some of the ones from last episode, so I thought I'd sprinkle
Positively
a
is a
couple in.
different-
The funniest part is that you said it just flowed out of his fingers.
It did just blah, 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 blah. I couldn't poop
Poop,
and
poop.
poop and poop and poop. This was really supposed to tell you that this was a tough list to come up with.
It was.
It was hard. Anyway, it's time for another Gamecasters Top 5. Catch you on the flip. We're back. On today's episode, we bring you our top 5 games that surprised us. These are games we didn't think we were going to like or love, but then it turned out we did. This was a tough list, though, as I do most of the researching and stuff for me and Natalie for the game, so I generally expect to like them all. So this list has some games, for me, that I wasn't introduced to, or I'm sorry, that I was introduced to, that I didn't really want to be introduced to at first. And then here's what happened. So we're going to go me, Jeff, Natalie.
Okay.
This time.
Good one. Good order.
Okay. Number 5. For me, number 5. This was a game that I learned about at Grand Con a number of years ago. This guy, Jason, was there, and he had a bag of games, and he was like, here, let's play this game. And I could not have been more... like, no, I don't want to play that. I just don't want to. I've never heard of it. It sounds dumb. The cards had these little paste-up stickers on them, and I was like, what is this crap? And it's called The City. By Tom
You
Lehman.
love that game.
And I played it, and I was like, okay, I've made a huge mistake. This was so good. The City I've talked about ad nauseum on the show. Back in Era 1, which I'm calling, when Jeremy and I, we talked about it a lot. It was Jeremy's number 1 filler game of all time. And the new version just came out. We played it at Nerdfest. Jeff got to play it for the first time, and it's a good game. So that's my number 5.
It's good. I thought about the city.
City.
I thought about it. It was on my honorable
Was it really?
mentions.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
nice.
that makes me feel good. All right, what about you?
Should I say something before the top 5?
Do it, baby.
Yeah.
That's your thing.
This was difficult.
It
This was
was.
maybe the hardest top 5.
Yeah.
I usually like games. I usually have fun. So it's hard to be like, oh, well, I didn't want to like this game, and then I liked it. So some of these games I knew I was going to be like, okay, this is cool, but then I liked it even more
Yeah.
than I
Right.
thought.
Which is completely valid.
So my number 5, and again, I have like so many that I'm just like randomly picking between. My number 5, and it's weird because the theme is so strange, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm like trading beans.
Oh, it's a good one.
But this game is awesome and so much fun. This game is called Bonanza.
That's
So
a great
awesome.
game.
And it's really fun. And this is a game I kind of thought, okay, I might like it because there's some player interactions and it's fun. But when you're like, oh, you're just trading beans, you know, this bean field, and you have these goofy looking bean cards.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'll give you 2 of these green beans for one of those chili beans. And you're just like,
but what business do you want to get into? The
Yeah.
pinto bean business?
Yeah.
it's just so it's really fun, and I love it. And I kind of just thought I might like it, but
Yeah.
I love Bonanza.
That's a
It's
good
really
I think I'm
fun.
regretting putting that on my list because that's a great one. I remember
is a
when I
great
first
one.
played it, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, like who cares about beans?
Yeah, like why is this fun?
And then I care about beans.
Yeah.
Bad.
Well,
Play
for
it.
me, like I'm usually I'm not into like games where you have to negotiate because I feel like nervous about it. And
Yep.
for some reason, every time I've ever
Yeah.
played this game, I'm like the most confident negotiator
Yeah, you're just
ever
like,
for my
I need
beans.
that red bean.
I'll trade you for this. Oh, how about this? Nope. This is what I need.
With
You
the red
know?
beans.
Yeah,
Those
the
are-
wheeler
those are
and
the big
dealer, the
ones.
red beans. So you
Yeah.
need a red bean.
I'm not a
And
wheeler and dealer
the
in this game. I
craziest
am.
thing, this is an Uwe Rosenberg game.
Yeah.
Which is, as you know, absolutely nothing like the Agricola,
There's
Caverna.
no polyomino
you know,
pieces to
right.
no polyomino beans.
That's a great pick
Bonanza.
for your number 5. Natalie, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Mechs vs. Minions.
Oh, you didn't expect to like this one, did
Well,
you?
I remember I had never played a game like this, like a programming type game. I knew that you had to play it like 10 times or beat it 10 times or whatever. I hadn't really like stuck to a game, you know, that long. And so I think I was nervous going into it, like, oh no, what if I don't like it?
Sure.
You know, and then we have to like play it a bunch, and we played it and I loved it. I thought it was amazing, and I'm really sad that we have like 2 more.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
were
we-
playing
we
with
got
the
2
3 of us. It was me,
With
Natalie, and
Jeremy.
Jeremy were playing.
Yeah, we got
and then
through
Jeremy
8, I think.
had a bunch of stuff going on with his house.
I'll step in
and
for
he
him.
couldn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
please, because we
I'd
want to
love
finish it, but we were doing it with 3. We
It
want
was
to keep
so
Yeah, it was
fun.
I really liked going through that. That was fun.
Yeah.
Great game. Nice. My number 4 is a game that I first played at Nerdfest last year. Again, I don't think I could have wanted to play this game any less. Deepwater Joe, brought this game out and the entire group of us were playing. And that was honestly really the only reason I agreed to play, because everybody was going to play.
You'd have been doing nothing.
Yeah.
I would have been by myself, and I would have
sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
Playing Star Wars Destiny.
Which would have been awesome.
Playing both sides of Star Wars.
Yeah. So I was like, begrudgingly, I went into it and I said, okay, I guess whatever, I'll play. I was not excited. He was explaining the rules. I wasn't really paying much attention. I had a couple cards in front of me. I didn't really know. All I knew was I was a horse racing around this track. Who gives a crap? I generally don't like racing games. I just generally don't.
Yeah.
We played Downforce. I just didn't like it at all. This game, I don't know what the heck. I had the most fun time playing this game. Every single one of us, it felt like we were all like, at downtown in in New York, and like the stock exchange, like everyone's going crazy, like making bets and like getting really crazy over these horses. A horse comes out and you're making bets on it, and you're playing these cards, and the cards can do stuff to make the horses go further or pull horses back. And I don't know why, but I loved it. I thought it was
really
so
fun.
much fun. It was the highlight for me of that Nerd Fest.
Did we say the
last
name?
year.
You said the
I was
name of it?
just
Oh, did I not say?
ask you
I don't
know if
that.
you said the name
I was
of it.
like,
Oh my god!
I don't know if
Sorry,
you said the
this
name,
game
but
is called Long Shot.
Okay.
Yeah, like you might not win. Like you're not supposed to.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to
long
win.
shot.
You're a long shot.
You're a long
Right.
shot. Right. That's probably a horse racing term, I would guess. The long shot. Put your bet on the long
Right.
shot. What a game this is!
It was very fun.
We played with. It felt like there was 36 people playing this game.
Yeah, it was really
There was
fun.
probably only like 10 of us, but it felt like there was 100 people there, and it was great.
With the right group, that can be
Everybody was
hilarious,
equally involved and into it.
it was
fun.
so good. Loved that game. That's my number 4, Long Shot. Jeff, what about you?
Yep, number 4, goofy concept for me. Again, just thinking about why would anyone like this game? Because the game is just full of magnets, and this game is called Attraction.
That is such a
that
cool
Ryan
game.
played with Richard Lanius. So anyway,
Stole your thunder.
Beat me to it.
and I think the original is like out of print, but they have Hearts of Attraction.
Yeah, I don't think you can get
buy the
Attraction.
original one, but
I wonder if it's because the magnets break so easily.
they do. So I'm curious.
like
I might
chip?
buy one to just keep at school for my students because they love it. But yeah, how goofy is it to just take magnets and throw it?
Do you want to hear an interesting fact? It's not about Richard Lanius.
Okay. Yep.
I've played Attraction more than any other user on BoardGame Geek.
Wow.
You have?
That's
Yeah.
like
How can you
Bill and
sell?
tumbling dice.
There's a stat
You can, like,
thing.
hit
There
stats.
was a guy that had a geek list, and he was like, here's the games I've played and how many, and I was like, oh, I wonder what mine are like. So I looked at my top games, and there's 2 games that I've played more than anybody in the BoardGame Geek user in the database, and Attraction is one of them, and the other one is I can't remember. So
You
pretty
can't
cool.
remember?
I think it's Insider.
Oh.
I've logged more plays of Insider
How
than
many
anybody
plays
on
have you logged of Attraction?
60 or 70 or something like that.
It's fun. It's goofy.
It is
You just
very
throw magnets all over the table and you throw them and try to get them to stick to each other.
Yep.
But it's hilarious when it doesn't, and hilarious when it does.
It's
And
hilarious when they like repel.
yeah, you just
That's
wouldn't.
so
Yeah.
funny.
It's just like so like
Because you get
such
like a perfect
letdown.
throw, and it's like, nope.
You're like, yeah, it just moves away. Just very subtly.
Great pick.
Yeah.
Natalie, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a game that Ryan really wanted to pick up at Grand Con called Castel.
Hell yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I've been wanting this game," and like just the cover of the box, I didn't know anything about it. I'm helping him punch it out. It has like a zillion things to punch
have a
out.
lot of
It
stuff to
looks
punch.
kind of weird with all these like people, and I'm just like, "What is this game?" But
Bunch of cardboard squares.
yeah,
Waste of a tree.
we played it, and it was awesome. It was probably one of the best games besides On Mars that we played at Grand Con.
Yeah.
And we talk about this all the time, so you know how much we love it. But
Yeah, Jeff
That's
bought
not
it.
one I
Jeff
expected to
played it.
love.
You like it a lot too, right?
I do.
Yeah, I remember you were not happy about. I was like,
You're
let's
like,
play Castel, and you were like, to your credit, thank you, we did it, and you
Yeah,
loved
I'm
it.
glad
Number
you made
3
me.
for me
I'm glad you forced it down
is
my throat.
no,
Oh,
what? Oh, we gotta cut that.
yeah,
Ryan, that was not
156.
meant to be.
What? How else are you gonna take? All right, too many boners. Number 3 for me is another game that we played at Grand Con a couple years ago with the same guy, Jason, who brought this game out. And I, again, don't want to play this. I don't want to play your stupid games. I should have, at this point in time, understood that this guy had amazing taste in games, because when he brought out Rhino Hero, I went out and bought it immediately after I played it. I'd never heard of it. He's like, let's play this little Hobba game. I'm like, no. He's like, you're building
Hobba
a building.
game?
I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm not a child. I'm not doing this
Not a
nonsense.
child.
We played it, and I was like, this is the most fun I've had doing a lot. Like, it was that was maybe the highlight of that convention for me was Rhino Hero. And now Rhino Hero is like insanely popular.
Yeah.
And this was when the first version came out, the original one. Now there's the
giant
Rhino.
one.
Super Rhino
Hero Battle. And there's even like a giant version you can get of it.
Yeah.
So that's my number 3, Rhino Hero. Jeff, what about you?
Good one. My number 3 is a game that Deepwater Joe has. And it came out, again, it's like these rolling right, flipping right. It's just like, I felt like the market was so flooded. And I was like, what the heck is this going to do?
I could have guessed this for you. Damn it.
This game, well, maybe the same. This game is called Welcome to.
Oh, no, okay. Wow, I actually thought you were
It was either that or like Cartographers.
That was what I thought.
What I was thinking,
I like
but I played Welcome to more. And I just thought, like, what could we possibly continue to get in this rolling right? Like, flip a card, write something on a paper, cool.
Right.
But this has some really cool new things to it. So, Welcome to, and it apparently can play 100 people.
Was that like the first
right.
flipping right? I think it was. There was all rolling rights up until
Yeah,
that
and this
point,
was,
I
So
think.
it's kind of cool. It's got a cool theme. You're building this little neighborhood,
Yeah.
and you're trying to complete these goals.
The jungle.
and-
We've got fun and games.
Yeah,
Remember
exactly.
that from last
So,
episode?
Welcome to the jungle.
that was my number, what was that, 3?
Number
Welcome
three.
to.
Good job. Nice. I like that one. What's your number 3, baby?
My number 3 is one of the games that was number 1 for a while on Board Game Geek. And Ryan really wanted to play it, called Twilight Struggle.
Man.
Whoa.
I remember
something.
Yeah,
What is it?
I remember thinking
Tug of
like,
war.
well, this game's number 1, so a lot of people must like it, but man, it just looks boring
Mm-hmm.
and dull. And so Ryan wanted to play it. It was cool giving it a chance because again, it was number 1, and I actually liked it. Like, I was surprised.
Wow, I'm surprised it's on your list. That's great.
Yeah, I remember thinking like, this is a pretty good game. And I did not think I would
Pretty
like
good.
it at all. Yeah, it's about war, the Cold War. And,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
it's not very...
The components aren't that. There's nothing to write home about.
But it was interesting, and I enjoyed it, and I would play it again.
Oh, great. Oh, that's awesome. Let's play it again. All right. My number 2 is a game we talked about on the show today. Jeff even kind of brought up the reason that it's on my list here is I just casually kickstarted this game a few years ago, back in 2015 or 2016. Just kind of, I don't know. I don't even remember why. I was like, oh, it's got a like a mouse pad for a mat. That looks kind of fun. And I kickstarted it. Back then, I never kickstarted games, really. I didn't, not
like
as
you
much
are
as I
today.
do now. Yeah, I would do like one every like 6 months, maybe, And so this game is Too Many Boners. And Too Many Bones blew me away. It like knocked my socks off. This is the exception to that rule of I didn't want to play it. So I did want to, but I did not in any way, shape, or form expected that it was going to be. It's
Right.
it's
So
like
it
in my
surprised
top
you.
20 for sure. It might be
Yeah.
in my top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
It's that good. I love the game. So that's my number 2. Too Many Boners.
Can I just have a
Nice.
side note
Yep.
here? So lately,
Are you telling us your hobbies?
Ryan has like so many Kickstarters, like
Kickstarts.
kickstarted. And then apparently sometimes they don't notify you when they ship them or something. And so he has this thing with like USPS that tells you when you're getting like a package. So like almost like all the time, he's like, are you getting a package in the mail? And I'll be like, no, I don't think so. And then he'll be like, oh, maybe it's a game. And then, and then it'll come and I'm like, oh yeah, that was mine. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Then
And he's
it's
like,
like,
damn
"Aw."
it. And that's probably happened like 3 times in the last week.
Yeah, the last 3 packages. When am I going to get a
He
game?
just asked me this morning. He's like, are you getting a package?
Guess you gotta kickstart more.
Guess so.
Maybe tomorrow will be your day. Anyway, sorry.
All right, Jeff, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is there's a debate on whether or not this is actually a board game on Board Game Geek. And again, a game that I didn't
what?
know that I would like it as much as I do because of how much just silly, goofy fun that it is. And this game is called Tale of Arabian Nights.
You love that.
It
I haven't played
is.
that.
haven't-
So we've
yeah, me neither.
altered how to
Game,
play
right?
it.
Isn't there like there's
Why would
a way
it
to
not
win
be
and
a
Sure.
stuff?
game?
There's rules
Because it's like a story. There's like, you're basically moving to a spot and then you pick something random to do to this random person. And then the storybook is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden you like lose an arm and then you like change your gender. And it's just like you got married, but then you have to run away from the stories are absurd and it's just like laughing fun. And I didn't. Initially, when you think about the rules, and you're like, you need to get these certain points, and you need to like get certain amount of these points and that points. It's like, why?
You don't even care
and
about
you
that.
don't even care about that. We kind of altered the rules a little bit to make it shorter and just more storytelling
Yeah.
fun, and it's hilarious.
I want to play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to. I've never get into it because you guys played at Nerdfest.
Yeah.
I don't know if you played it this year.
And
but
you just
usually
can't
play
worry
it.
about winning. You just like laugh at the stories and laugh at
Yeah.
what it says.
Yeah, I
It's really
need
funny.
to play that at some
Like
point.
telestrations. Like, does anyone ever use the points? It's just about laughing.
Yeah, you
Making
just
draw
funny
the things and
drawings.
laugh.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right, Natalie, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is a game we played recently that, if you listened to the last couple episodes, maybe a couple episodes ago, that I was kind of like about playing, called Watergate, because I was not into the theme.
I figured that would make the list.
And
Natalie doesn't
yeah,
like his history games.
I know. Or does she?
I know, maybe I do. So, yeah. Watergate was a surprise to me.
Yeah, for sure.
I wasn't that excited to play it, and it turned out to be really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Number 1. My number 1, Star Wars Destiny. Jeff, what's your number 1?
Is it really?
It is. Well, here's what. Let me tell you a quick story.
It's been a while since you put
I
it
did
on a
not
list, so
know
I guess it's
anything
time.
about this game. I did not research it. I didn't know it was coming out. Had no idea. One day, there was a local game store that doesn't exist anymore, sadly, called Flatland Games that was around my house. I just happened to go there on a Sunday just to see what was going on, and there was a ton of people there. And so I asked the guy that owned the store, who I knew. I was like, what's going on back there? And he's like, there's a new Fantasy Flight CCG that just came out called Star Wars Destiny. And he's like, you should go back and learn it. And I was like, no, I don't want a CCG. I don't have money to spend on that stuff, and that doesn't sound fun at all. He's like, why don't you just go demo it, just go try it, and just see what you think. And so I just was like, okay, sure, I did. And I played it, and I was like, what?
And now the world has changed.
Yeah,
for
it
Ryan
changed.
Gaming.
It honestly, it
your number
changed
one
my
game of
life
all
as a
time.
gamer, because this was what I was looking for forever. And 285 plays later, it's
And you're not
my
even
favorite
number
game
one
of all
of that,
time.
in
No,
that one.
Yeah.
the number 1 is like 1,000.
It was 285 games,
over 1,000.
but that was in like a pretty short
It was
span.
like it was less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Jeremy and I did a 1x100 of it. So you play one game 100 times and
Yeah.
we got through it pretty handily. So that's my number 1,
Easy.
Star Wars Destiny. Jeff's over here like,
My number 1 is Star Wars Destiny. It's not. It's not Star Wars Destiny. I've only played it once. Maybe twice.
At Nerdfest, right? 3
My
times
number
a
1 game is a game that was introduced to me at like a Michicon or a WinterCon, a local convention that we went to. And Ryan and I played it, and we sat in the corner playing this game over and over and over again. And it was just hysterical fun. And it's hanging on Ryan's wall. I have one now. And this game is called Crokinole.
Crokinole.
I
good
love
pick. That is good
Crokinole.
pick.
It's just this like, and again, you wouldn't think that flicking discs on a circular board would be fun, and it is fun
We laughed harder than we've ever laughed for no reason in our
for no
entire
reason.
lives.
These
together.
war gamers who are intense were like,
Yeah, we were in the
staring at
same
us,
room
and we're
with these
like,
other gamers. We were just like, oh.
and you just
Like,
get so.
it was
It's just
so
the
funny.
moments where you're like, all right, I'm gonna hit this, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this, and then you flick it, and you hit that peg in the middle, and it just shoots right back at you, and you're just like, oh my, it's just hilarious.
And we played on the crappiest board. It was like this $20
Yeah.
board that I bought at Grand Con, or at Michicon or WinterCon,
Yeah,
wherever
yeah.
we were. And I was like, you want to play it? And he was like, sure. And we played it, and we were just like, oh my God.
It's great.
Great pick.
So,
That's a
Crokinole.
great
Go find a
pick.
board.
Yeah.
Play it.
Doesn't matter how expensive it is. It's just fun.
Yeah.
All right, Natalie, we come to you.
Yay.
What is your
The
numero
last number
uno?
1.
Well, my number 1, I'm not like the biggest fan of
Board games.
what are those called?
Games?
Like, what's Defenders of the Realm? Like that kind of
Dudes
game.
on a map?
Dudes on a Map game. But Ryan pulled this one out. I didn't want to play it. And I was pleasantly surprised that Cthulhu Death May Die.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
cool. Good one.
Yeah.
We date night dice that one.
We date night dice it. We played it again at Nerdfest with Dave and Terry. And it's just,
Terry actually told Dave to buy it.
yeah, it's a fun one.
Wow.
We talked about it a few podcasts ago, but you mentioned that they like wanted it to be like perfect. Didn't they like?
Yeah, they went through like this final version. They had an actual game created 3 separate times. And they were like, this is good. And then they were like, but is it the best? No. And they threw it out and started over.
Right. So like that comes through. It's a really well designed game.
That's a fantastic pick. That
Good
is
choice.
the Gamecasters top 5 games that surprised us. Do you guys have any honorable mentions you want to hit on real quick?
I guess I only have two, Too Many Bones, and also Quacks of Quedlinburg. I didn't want to put it on the thing because we talk about it constantly, but going into it knowing it was Push Your Luck, and I didn't like Push Your Luck.
now
That was a
it's like
surprise
one of
to
your
me
favorite games now.
how
Yeah.
much I love it.
I was kind of
I
surprised
thought
that.
was not on your list.
Yeah, I
a
was
little
surprised, too.
Yeah.
I had Long Shot. I had Happy Salmon as like just again an activity that's hilarious. I had a game called Gloria Rome,
Ah, yeah.
which
Good
again
one.
the art is just awful
Abysmal.
in the original one. I also like King's Dilemma a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. Again, when you're teaching the rules, when you're teaching the rules of King's Dilemma, you're like, cool, we're just arguing about things to move. You're like, cool.
Again, that's about the group. Too.
Yeah. A couple of I got Shobu was on there, which I liked, and I usually don't like those type of games at all. The Mind, Seventh Continent, Penny Lane were all honorable mentions.
Oh yeah, Penny Lane.
Penny Lane was.
And
Yeah,
the Mind,
Penny Lane was good.
it's a lot of these simple games that I have where like this game is really simple, but when you play it, it's either really, really fun or it's great.
Yeah.
That kind of always catches me.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
What about you? You have any?
I do, but they're on a spreadsheet, not here.
Well, you don't like spreadsheets?
Don't remember
You must not
them.
like Captain Burgundy.
Like mathematics and spreadsheets.
No, I do. I'm saying they're on a spreadsheet. I like spreadsheets. I don't have the spreadsheet
Some
in front
people
of me.
don't.
There are probably some, but it's okay. We're getting long anyway. So we now come to the last segment of the show, which I took a poll. It's the favorite of 93% of our listeners, according to a poll that I made up for this joke. And the poll, this is the segment where we say goodbye. So if you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both those accounts service the podcast. We also have a Facebook group. You can just search Gamecasters and you'll find us there. You can also email at us at nobodyemailsus@gmail.com.
We got
also
one email.
have an...
It's for me.
From Noodles, right?
Jeff was our
Nella.
first.
Nella.
Well, and I will say, when I do interviews and stuff, I use that email to use it.
Well, when she emailed us, she even said in the email, because you said nobody emails you.
That was very nice of you.
Email.
Thank you so much. It's really the Gamecasters podcast at gmail.com. We also have an incredibly, again, like I always talk about, Baron Board Game Geek Guild. So if you'd like to head on over there, Natalie, we're Guild 3678. If you like the show, we'd love if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else that you listen that allows you to rate us. That's, again, we talk about all the time. This is the way to get us out there to more people. If people, Google Board Game Podcast, they find some ratings, then they're more likely to listen to us. So if you don't like the show, rate us a 5 anyway, or else. I can't say what will happen to you. Only that something
Maybe
will.
a beatdown.
You'll get your own board game beatdown. All music for the show and every episode was produced by Jeremy Pete. If you enjoyed it and want some of your own for your next project, email us to discuss. So, for Natalie, Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody.